This is a UTV 44 Sports production. The UTV 44 High School Football Game of the Week, presented by Subway.
Region 2 Championship on the line tonight here on UTV 44, and our Game of the Week brought to you by Subway. Undefeated and defending state champions Daphne coming across the bay to take on McGill-Toolen, also coming in with a record of 8-0. Good evening, I'm Jim Cox, my partners Dan Brennan and Vic Lockett. Dan, when you talk about this potent Daphne team, so great offensively, it all runs through number 4, the Auburn commit.
Yeah, TJ Yeldon, and the numbers don't lie. 22 touchdowns on the year, 1,600 yards rushing, and he's only played in the fourth quarter of 2 games. He'll probably play in all 4 tonight. Yeah,
he is a guy that Glenn Vickery says compete, compete, compete. That's what makes him so special. Now, he's also a guy that always gets into that second level defensively, Vic, and McGill's going to have their hands cut out for him there tonight.
Yeah, and you're talking about the second level. You take a look there, Jalen Square. He's the leading tackler for this McGill defense. Usually you don't want the free safety leading you in tackles, but this guy doesn't come off the field. He plays all the special teams, and he's a factor in all of them.
Oh, it should be great tonight. Not just the Game of the Week locally throughout the state, no doubt. None bigger than this one tonight. Region championships on the line. Both teams are perfect. We find out who stays that way coming up after this. Kickoff next on our UTV 44 Game of the Week. Not a seat to be had tonight at the Lip, as it is packed on both sides as we get ready for this big matchup between number 1 ranked Daphne and number 6 ranked McGill here tonight. And an electric atmosphere, to say the least, as we get ready for this one. Daphne will receive the kick to open things off. And let's go down and welcome in Pat Greenwood down on the sidelines. How about this atmosphere, Patrick?
I tell you what, I've never done Monday Night Football, but I got to imagine it's something like this. You guys are right. There's not a seat to be had, not a parking space to be had. I got here about 6:20 or so. I had to talk my way into the parking lot because so many people wanted to come see this football game. And I'll tell you, I'm just looking forward to it. You know, can McGill stop TJ Yeldon? Can Daphne continue to do what they've been doing for 23 straight games? It's a question we've asked for about a week now. Looking forward to seeing what happens, fellas.
You know it's a big game when the Hall of Famer can't get a parking spot.
Yeah. Well, no, the Hall of Famer did get a parking spot.
But he had to talk. He had to sell it a bit.
He had to flash his HOF credentials.
Torin McGaster back deep to receive. Also, TJ Yeldon back there along with Jonathan McGaster.
Even on the kickoffs. Returning, Yeldon's there.
Thomas Hamlin, number 99, to kick for McGill-Toolen, 8-0, and I think one of the big stories in high school football in our area this year that McGill,
big surprises,
undefeated coming into week 9.
Yeah, a few things have got to go right for McGill tonight. We'll talk about that.
Hamlin with a pooch kick. Yeldon at the 30. Yeldon cuts it across the far side of the field, and he'll be brought down at the 37.
They kicked it to Yeldon?
Yes, they did. This is where we will see this Daphne offense averaging 41.5 points a game, and it all goes through TJ Yeldon. As Dan said just a moment ago, 1,600 yards, 22 touchdowns, or averages 11.5 yards a carry. And Coach Glenn Vickery said, the thing about that young man, he loves to compete. TJ Fleeton now rolling out. Fleeton with gloves on, dumps it to the near side. He's able to get that one complete. Horace Johnson with it. Actually, it was Yeldon as they line him up out of the Wildcat, and he throws it.
Yeah, how ridiculous is that? Great running back, and just almost in a obnoxious way. They say he can throw it too.
Yeah, ridiculous, a great way to describe him. Yeah. Fleeton usually the quarterback, Yeldon and Newsom back there. You got Sane, who will go up and get the ball, along with McGaster on the other side, and Horace Johnson, who had that reception, his 16th of the year. And now they'll go with Fleeton. And he'll pitch it. Yeldon on the far side, cuts it across. Jalen Square can't bring him down, and TJ Yeldon, 42-yard touchdown. And he continues on his magical ways this season, and Daphne is on top 28 seconds into this one.
Well, why not let him touch the football every way you can, every time and every down? So you start out with a pass with him, and next time you pitch it to him, and he goes the distance. As you take a look at him, he just makes a couple of moves, one right there, and then this one here, and he's just gone. He's left number one on his seat there.
Yeah, Jalen Square, as you said, the leading tackler, said he was going to have to stop him tonight. He didn't get a glove on him.
Would any of us?
23 touchdowns on the year now. And Roberts with the kick. And just like that, it is 7-0, the exact start the Daphne Trojans wanted in this one. And it's behind the guy who could be Mr. Football this year, who's heading to Auburn. 42 yards later, he's in for the score. Didn't take long.
No, it didn't take long. That's because they've got T.J. Yeldon. And they've got a good offensive line, too. Daphne, that group up front creates some holes, and we didn't see many holes against McGill in the Davidson or the Foley game.
You're right.
I think one big concern for McGill is Alex Pond is out of the game. Very dependable senior outside linebacker. When you're a McGill team like this with the lack of depth, the program really just trying to get re-energized, that's a big hit, don't you think?
Absolutely. And also just one of those guys who's been around one of the leaders on that side of the ball, knows to help get everybody in the right position pre-snap.
Yep.
Brandon Roberts to kick off for Daphne. He's got a big leg. Daphne going to be offside on this one.
Yeah, one of them was very anxious to get down there and cover the kick, and just a little too anxious, too quick.
Having the end zones, filling up the end zone where we have seats to the south end here at the Lip filling up, telling you just how big a crowd it is this evening.
Yeah, but a lot of folks get the call.
Well, you're talking about standing room. I mean, there's only standing room up here in the press box. There's no seats up here.
I saw a lot of fans that came in, walked up to this side, assuming they could find a seat. And I'm thinking, no, they're going to have to go to the end zone. That's the only place left. And now, like Jim said, soon that'll be jammed, and then it's just be folks standing around the fence.
So they will back them up to the 35 for the kickoff here. Marshall, the deep man for McGill-Toolen.
Yeldon scored so quickly, I wasn't able to get to my keys of the game, which included get the lead for McGill. So, well, I can scratch that one.
Now, Vic said, we were talking in the commercial break, okay, how do you respond? You know, they had the big come-from-behind win over Fairhope earlier in the year when they're down 28-0, but you knew you were going to be in for one of those tonight, and now you got to see what you do when you get the football, and they'll try pooching it to the far side. Trey Roberts, he's got a lot of speed, and Roberts spins out to the 34-yard line.
This McGill team's been good on offense, though. I mean, they've been no slouch.
33 points a game for the Yellow Jackets coming into tonight's contest. Winners last week, 23-7 over Robertsdale. There's our Spring Hill Toyota scoring summary. 2 plays, 63 yards. Just 28 seconds, 42 of them coming on the Yeldon run. That was after the 21-yard completion to open things up. Jason Smith, junior quarterback. And we see something we're going to see out of McGill all night long, snapping the ball with the play clock in single digits. Now they're going to have to hurry, and they're not going to get this one off. Wow.
Yeah, no need to get away from your game playing this early, even though you've got that quick 7 by Daphne. So I think you see McGill just do exactly what they normally been doing all year.
There's the starting lineup. Trey Roberts, 102 carries this year, 771 yards. Touchdowns, 7.6 average, 861 yards in the air for Jason Smith, 9 touchdowns this year, just 2 interceptions. And you got Carl Lee, the big wide receiver, number 24, to get after things, especially up in the air. 5 touchdowns, 6'5", 181.
Yeah, I think, Daphne was really tight up on the line of scrimmage right there, and I think possibly McGill was looking to change that play. They were in single safety and everybody up close. Maybe they didn't like the odds of calling the original play.
Well, I tell you what, Lee and Anderson are going to change a lot of odds in their favor.
Those defensive ends for Daphne.
Now motion goes Knowles. And they'll come to the near side. Smith keeps it himself, and he'll get to about the 32-yard line before he's chased out of bounds by Jalen Coleman, sophomore inside linebacker for Daphne. Ryan Anderson, number 7, 12.5 sacks on the year. And his bookend, Eric Lee, who was on our pregame show, he's got 4 sacks on the season. And Daquan Abel, right in the middle up front, 4 sacks as well. Then you look at Houston, the linebacker who gets after things, along with the secondary, Preston Hughes, who's got 3 interceptions, one of those for a touchdown. And Jenkins and McGaster can also go up and get it. So a pickup of
McGaster also a Division I prospect.
Pickup of 3, low snap. Smith falls down and has to get on the ball all the way back at the 20. McGill coming up 3rd and very, very long. And this is the exact start you didn't want to see. Well, we talked about it's for the region championship tonight. 8-0 each team 6-0 in the region, each team 4-0 at home, 4-0 on the road. Fairhope at 4-2 and Foley at 3-3 and Williamson at 3-3. Battling for that last playoff spot there in Region 2. And again, Knowles will bring the play in from the sideline. McGill going to have to hurry. Play clock at 5. Now and Jason Smith, he's got Lee to the bottom of the screen. They'll give it to Roberts right up the middle and nothing doing.
Just doing something safe to get out of this down and just go ahead and just punt it out of here.
Yeah, you don't want to get a turnover down deep in your own end. Pat Greenwood.
Yeah, something to keep in mind, too, guys. This is a different situation for McGill-Toolen. Daphne was in the state championship game last year. They understand these pressure games. McGill hadn't been in a big game like this in a long time, and you see the nerves in that first series.
Yeah, I thought that was a great point made by David Faulkner, Fairhope's head coach, in their game last week on Thursday night when they fell behind 21-0. Horace Johnson watches this one go over his head, and a great punt. And this will roll all the way inside the 15.
Yeah, that's a great punt under duress. He had to hurry it out.
Yeah, Hamlin had pressure coming from the outside. McGaster was coming with the pressure and all the way down to the 13-yard line. About a 64-yard punt.
This guy's big right now. We just took a look at Bart Sessions. All eyes on this team are always on Bart Sessions. All these kids look to him to lead. That's why they played so well. He gets these kids excited. He gets them to believe. He's got to keep believing so they can keep playing for him.
Bart Sessions, the defensive coordinator of the state championship team from Daphne last year. TJ Fleet, the junior quarterback, 9 touchdowns this year, no interceptions, and up the middle, TJ Yeldon. Yeldon across the 30, still on his feet to the 40, to the 42-yard line, and a gain of 29.
One of the things I was a little concerned about tonight, for McGill's sake, was a college running back running against a high school defense. And that's what we've got tonight.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, and what I've seen here different for him this year, that right there, he's just finishing off runs.
Absolutely.
You know, last year he wasn't finishing them like that, but he now knows he's the stout horse. He's not going to get challenged much.
He's running differently. I agree.
Fleeton gives it off. Yeldon on the left side. He'll get stopped. Richard Lucas there. You know, Art Sessions was saying it was almost like they were saying, challenging him, that the scouts were saying, I'm not sure he can run between the tackles. And TJ Yeldon said, okay, I'll show you I can. Yeah. Dan mentioned the fact Alex Pond out at linebacker, Blake Lamont on the defensive end. They'll expect big things from him tonight, but Pond, we just found out, a scratch, will not be playing tonight. Alan Myers, Garrett Cortopassi will be there, and Breland Massey, a sophomore, fills in for Alex Pond at the linebacker spot for McGill tonight. A challenge, to say the least. 2nd and 8. They give it on the end around McGaster. And then we pushed out of bounds at the 48.
Good job of containment by McGill right there. All eyes, of course, on Yeldon. McGaster on the reverse. And this kid's a good player. I'll tell you what. Blake Lamont was on our pregame show again, and he just makes plays, doesn't get out of place, sacks the quarterback, does about everything you can ask a defensive end to do.
Well, that's kind of how the McGill defense is every week that we've seen them. You know, they play together, they're on the same page, and they gang tackle, even though it's just tiny guys gang tackle.
And when you're tiny, you have to, right?
Sure.
On the option, Fleeton with a straight arm, and he'll be pulled down. He's going to be just short of the first down. Andrew Allen in there to make the stop for the Yellow Jackets in 4th. And very short coming up.
They say he got the first. He's kicking the sticks now.
Wow.
It was kind of close there, but he must have edged it on over.
The McGill side didn't like that spot.
He sure took those sticks and ran with them real quick.
So first down for the the Daphne Trojans. They lead 7-0. If you're just joining us, number 4, TJ Yeldon, having a big night so far, and he could be on pace if Daphne goes to the state championship game, keeps his average up to be the first 3,000-yard back in the history of Alabama.
Wow.
Yeah, but some game tackling there. Is Allen the first one in?
I was just going to say, we've seen this McGill team make a lot of negative plays defensively. Let's see how many we see tonight. Not too many, but that was a big one.
Hey, don't forget, you can email us all game long. Hey, guys, at utb44.com. The BlackBerry outage all corrected now, so we're able to get your emails. Had a little issue last week, so you can do that, or you can go to utb44.com. Great website for high school football. You can email us through there, and we'll read as many of those tonight as we can. And it'll be flooded as well with Vic Lockett back in the booth. You know, they're all of them last week. Where's Vic?
There's Vic Lockett.
2nd and 10. Pre-snap whistle. Timeout called for by the Daphne Trojans.
Well, let's hope McGill now is adjusted to the speed of this game and the speed of Yeldon and the toughness of Yeldon and start playing football like we've seen them do, all together, all on the same page, game tackle.
And you know, coming into a game, he's going to get them.
Sure.
I mean, he's going to get some of those. You just have to try to limit how many he gets.
What's the cliche? You just know he's going to get his, but you hope to contain him.
I was really, seriously, I was thinking if McGill-Toolen can hold Yeldon to about 150 yards, really, I thought that'd be a good night. Because when he plays an entire game, he's bound to get whatever he wants, and we saw that against Fairhope.
Thank our friends at Subway. Play hard, eat fresh. Subway, sponsor of our high school football, our presenting sponsor.
Issue with that because your BlackBerry wasn't working.
And I don't have one, so you know what he's talking. My supercomputer is not so good.
BlackBerry between the ears. How about the crowd? How about the atmosphere? And one thing about the McGill-Toolen student section, they're not going to give up because they were the ones that rooted this team back into a victory against Fairhope.
Yep.
They got behind 28-0 at the half on this very field in September to Fairhope and won the game.
Look at that one just inside midfield. 2nd and 10. McGaster to the bottom of the screen. Fleeton will play action. Pressure coming. Allen will grab him, and it's thrown to the near side and out of the hands of TJ Yeldon as Fleeton was pressured.
And Yeldon rarely misses the football because he's got great hands as well. We've seen him catch long passes. Yeah,
Yeldon's played a lot of receiver, but that was a pass under duress, and he threw it with the bullet right there to him. Just kind of an awkward play.
Sure.
This Fleeton's, he's a strong guy, too. He's put together. He's not easy to bring to the ground.
6'1", 200 pounds.
Yeah, he's a good-looking athlete.
3rd and 10.
Boy, does McGill need this stop.
Woo. And now Yeldon will line up on the far side. 3 receivers to the near side, and McGaster goes in motion. Fleeton stands in the pocket, fires. That one tipped in the air, incomplete as he tried to go to Clark Newsom, the big fullback. And we'll see the punt team coming from Daphne here.
99, what'd you see on that stop?
Well, I saw a lot of crossing right there, and then they were just trying to mix up the DBs, but Filbert Marshall was right there. Didn't confuse him at all.
Jalen Square will drop back to the 10. Roberts will punt right at his own 40 and get another timeout by Daphne. That's their second here in the first half.
Coach Vickery not concerned about taking them in his back pocket into the halftime or needing them at the halftime or close to halftime. He thinks he's going to burn it up, huh?
Not thinking like a punt or something, a fake punt here at midfield. Taking a timeout. Take a look at our other games going on tonight. Last night, you see the 43-7 score. UMS right, BC Rain, Mary G.
They're getting better, UMS.
Yep, and Bryant seem to always do that this time of the year, don't they?
Do.
Baker and Blunt, big one tonight at Ladd. Davidson and Murphy, Robertsdale and Baldwin County, Williamson and Fairhope, Satsuma and Foley. Spanish Fort, Citronelle tonight. Gulf Shores hosting Faith Academy, LaFleur and Viger. And see the rest of the games there, including Bayside Academy trying to stay perfect with Excel. Square will stay at the 10.
Something.
Roberts at the 36. McGill with the return on. Good high punt, fair catch called for. Square right at the 10-yard line. And We'll take a break. 6:57 left in the opening quarter. Daphne came out swinging early. They got the early touchdown. And they have the lead. McGill gets it back. They had a 3-and-out. And they'll get it back at the 10-yard line to start this drive. We'll take a timeout here on our UTV 44 Game of the Week, brought to you by Subway. Daphne on top 7-0. UTV 44 Game of the Week. Daphne on top 7-0. McGill with their second possession here in the opening quarter. Trey Roberts on the right side. Roberts going to lose a couple. Losing his helmet on that one was Harrison Loudon.
They need to be able to run Roberts because that is the bread and butter of this offense.
Yeah, but they got him going lateral, and that's not what he does best. He's usually north and south is where you get the best potential. And
Trey Jenkins, the safety, coming up to make the stop there. You know, McGill wants to slow the game down. They want to limit the touches that this Daphne team gets, so they want to snap the ball with the play clock in single digits. However, you've got to get first downs to make that be effective, because if you get a 3-and-out, you haven't limited their possessions. Pitch to Roberts, and he lost the football and kicked it out of bounds, which may be a fortuitous bounce for the Yellow Jackets. Whew.
Yeah, they get some positive yardage out of that, but not the way you want to. You got to shake the jitters and come on, play.
Let's watch the pitch here.
Yeah, he pitched it in there a little low for him because he's a good, tall guy. He's 6 feet tall. You got to get it up a little higher than you normally would for a back.
So 3rd and 10. Clock stopped as that one rolled out of bounds there. You look at Jalen Smith. Jason Smith, 53 rushes on the year, 551 yards.
He's going to have to pop one. I'll tell you what, the way this offense looks right now, they're struggling. And Smith, of course, quarterback draw or something, a busted play. The other thing is, with these two division, this is the second week in a row that we've done a game with a defense with 2 Division I defensive ends.
You're right.
They've got them definitely in Anderson and Lee. But they're going to be coming after number 7.
Lee, the taller, just a little over 6'4" and a half. Anderson right at 6'4".
Big guys.
Whew. Smith on that quarterback draw Dan alluded to, and right up the middle, he's got the first down. Smith dropped at the 22, and he's going to have the first down. Was wrapped up by Isaac Houston on the tackle.
Where the middle was there, huh?
It was wide open as you take a look at it right there. Nobody's at home, all green grass, and then he just turns and tries to get the corner there looking for a block, but it wasn't there. They took him down there just in front of the sticks. Well, at least they get a first down, get the sticks kicked.
Yeah, there was Smith.
Lee to the bottom of the screen. They give it to the fullback inside, and Garrison across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Ian Garrison doesn't get it a lot, just his 11th carry of the year, but he's got a first down.
Well, that's what you got to do with those big defensive ends. Run a little trap in the middle like that, and you'll catch him to the side, and you've got position on him, and if you just slide right off the butt there like he does, he's up the field for 5 or 10.
Neutralize the big guys right there.
There you go. Use their strength against them.
Back-to-back first downs here for the Yellow Jackets.
They got some cooking here, Dan.
They do.
Trey Roberts, lone setback. He'll get it up the middle, and he was slowed down by Jalen Coleman, sophomore linebacker coming in there.
You know, when you take away what a team likes to do to set everything up, you kind of throw their whole playbook and their offensive strategy out of whack. And that's what Daphne's doing right now by taking away the running back. They love to run it and then bootleg with Smith.
Bart Sessions is enjoying his first year here at McGill.
Yeah. I mean, he was so cool. You would have thought we were standing around before a JV game.
Well, but you know, as I said, the pressure's on the guy across the way, really, because this team is really overachieved.
But he's got Yeldon.
Yes.
Play action. Smith crosses to the near side. He's got Lee, and Lee on his feet, still up the near side. He's got a lot of speed inside the 20. Touchdown, Yellow Jackets. 59 yards on the pitch and catch to Carl Lee, his 6th touchdown of the season.
And Jason Smith did a good job on that bootleg. He was under a little bit of duress. He stayed calm and delivered the ball just where the receiver can catch it as you take a look at it. And then he just breaks a tackle, and he's off to the races.
That was a great throw by Smith, considering he was really getting chased down. He had to turn his shoulders to make an accurate throw. Yeah, he can throw it, Jim. A lot of people talk about his wheels, but he can put it there.
Oh, I think he's two-dimensional for sure.
McGaster had him up high, and that didn't slow down. 6'5", 181-pound Carl Lee. Hamlin on for the point after. Boy, did McGill need that. You talked about the third down stop. They needed the touchdown, and they have evened things up. 6A Region 2 championship on the line tonight, as well as a pair of perfect records here on UTV 44. Seven. McGill answers back. Dan, we were just saying there in the break that, a big part of that, not only for McGill, get this crowd back into it on their side.
Yeah, this is a great atmosphere, but your atmosphere can only be great if you're not getting dominated. That gives you hope. The first downs gave you hope. The touchdown ties it up. You're no longer chasing.
And you're talking about the atmosphere. I saw as many Daphne tailgaters and barbecuers
as
it was
early.
McGill as well. So
they were here
both sides
early
in forces.
Yeah, the folks taking the money for parking around 4. That was a good idea. Nobody got in free.
Now look at McGill lining up in an onside formation. Hamlin takes this one onside. Indeed does it. The ball is loose. Scrambled to the near side. Coach Sessions says McGill has it.
Got the referees all in the scrum there on the ground.
The ball came up in the air. Daphne now says they have it.
Pull the humanity back and see who has it. Fight continues.
And
do we have an indication?
Daphne's going to have it, judging on the McGill coaches' reaction. Boy, they lined up for the onside kick, and everybody's like, okay, they're really not going to onside kick this, are they?
And they did.
Yeah.
Hey, let it all hang out. This is for the championship as you take a look at the replay.
The ball does come loose here. Carl Lee is there. Garrison is there.
Yeah, a lot of McGill guys had kind of their back to it.
Fleeton rolling out pressure, fires it across the middle. Guess who? TJ Yeldon, first down.
We talked about his hands earlier. There it is right there. Good catch. Catch the ball and then turn upfield.
Just his 7th reception of the season. A little surprising. But he doesn't play a lot.
Yeah, you're right. He sits out there. They're up by so much, and it's just kind of they wave the white flag, put him on the bench. Such a fluid receiver, runner. Everything he does looks top shelf.
He's a super athlete. Just beautiful looking specimen there as you take a look at him.
Fleeton gives it off, and Yeldon bumped out of bounds inside the 35 to the 34-yard line.
Just got to make Daphne work for things if you're McGill, because this team is so explosive. And if you miss the opening drive, it didn't take long. It was 2 plays, and it was all Yeldon with a pass and then a long touchdown run.
I was talking to someone very knowledgeable in high school football in our area, and they said if TJ Yeldon plays the full game, he's going to get 300 yards.
That's right. Yeah, really.
I mean, and he wasn't being like knocking competition or anything, but he's just said.
Well, that's a big one right there. Personal foul on McGill after the play.
Wow.
Yeah, that kicks the sticks, gives them a first down all the way down to the 19.
You don't have to give them anything.
Yeah, they don't give them any gifts or treats.
Pat Greenwood was over on the sideline there, Pat.
Yeah, well, I'm over on the Daphne sideline. Yeldon was clearly about a yard or 2 out of bounds before the McGill-Toolen guy hit him. So that's the 15-yarder right there.
Horace Johnson goes in motion. Now they look to the near side. They're able to get it. Clark Newsom out of the backfield. He falls down. Newsom, 6 foot, 195-pound blocking back primarily for this Daphne team.
Well, I just want to meet the guy you said was knowledgeable on high school football other than you two guys. I mean, I want to know who that is other than a coach.
We steal from the best.
Second down and about 8 coming up for the Trojans. TJ Yeldon on the right side pushes forward inside the 15.
Boy, he got
that explosion.
Got out of the gates pretty quick, huh?
It looked like the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, man.
And they're off.
Yeah.
I talked about the fact that if Daphne were to go to the state championship game, play 15 games, Yeldon keeps up on his average, he'd be the first back with 3,000 yards in a season. Consider this, in one game against Satsuma this year, 3 carries, 115 yards. He carried the ball 3 times and still is on pace to put up ridiculous numbers.
And considering all the great backs that have played in this state, think about
Produced
that.
a few.
Yeah. One called Mr. Bo Jackson, just to name one.
I had one.
That's worldwide.
I had one coach in the area who said, I think he's the best running back we've seen since Electron Williams here.
I think that's a very fair statement. We've been doing this 12 years now. I don't think we've seen anybody as good as him.
And I played against Electron in middle school and high school, and he was a monster, both levels.
Tell you about some more of our friends who bring us high school football every Friday night here on UTV 44. Encore, Paige Plash. Thanks to Paige and all his fine folks for keeping athletes healthy, then getting them back healthy on Saturday mornings. Greer's Market.
Yeah, my man Robert.
He's happy about TJ.
I'm sure, yeah. He'll have him next few years up at Auburn.
Spring Hill Toyota. And Davison Fuels and Oil.
Well, at least McGill counterpunched, so they know that they can do something offensively.
Right.
Daphne goes in, and Daphne's probably going to go in a lot tonight. McGill is going to just find themselves in a shootout. It's a matter of can they hang in.
You know, and I like what you said, Vic, too, about the onside kick. Hey, go for it. You know, you got to get some fluky plays, baby, to beat a team like this. Daphne, a team traditionally, since Glenn Vickery's been there, Coach Savory, not a team that's going to give. They're not going to beat themselves.
Very well coached.
3rd and 5.
Tried to draw them offside, then change the formation, used to what they're going to play.
Newsom and Yeldon both shift. They give it off to TJ's hitting the backfield, slips a tackle. Now coming back all the way around the near side. He's inside the 10 with a big hurdle.
Looks like a pretty deer running from that shotgun.
Wow.
Yeah.
We've seen him do that before, though. Nothing new to us,
That's
guys.
right.
Yeah.
But our viewers probably have not. He's just an awesome athlete, can do just about anything. And just like you said, how fluid he is.
College back running against high school kids. That's what I'm looking at.
Wow.
Great player.
Jeffrey Stanley had a chance at him back in the backfield.
And if you notice, all of McGill's defense was over there, just like they know how to play. They play together and they'll game tackle and be in good position, but you got a back like that can do something special. That'll catch them off guard.
1st and goal at the 9. Yeldon cuts it back to the left side, angles toward the end zone, gets a hit from Jalen Square, but he's in for the score.
Most backs never get there. Most backs never get out of that first tackle right there.
Sure.
A quick jab step to the left.
And just have a nose for the end zone.
Yeah.
I mean, get the ball across the plane. I mean, it's Marcus Allen-esque.
That's a good comparison.
Yeah, that's how it is.
24th touchdown on the season for
They're
Yeldon.
throwing out the Marcus Allen card, and I like it.
Perfect.
So smooth. Roberts. And it's 14-7. 2 minutes left to go in the opening quarter. It's been a good one so far. Now we'll see if McGill can answer back again. TJ Yeldon, 2 touchdowns so far tonight. McGill-Toolen on a Friday night in their home field, the Lip. There's Coach Glenn Vickery. Now, if Glenn Vickery wins here tonight, he will tie Steve Savary's for the most wins in school history on the Daphne sidelines.
How about that? Savary's, of course, brought this program to prominence. Now the director of the Alabama High School Athletic Association up in Montgomery.
The commish.
He probably's got a pretty good idea what's going on at this game.
Oh, I'm sure. He may even be in the house if he could find a seat.
Yeah, good point. Can't even find a throne for the king.
Sure.
Roberts sent it back, and Marshall goes into the end zone, and McGill will start at 20. Back on that note, I'm Coach Glenn Vickery here, 76-23 all-time at Daphne in his 8th season. So there's our Spring Hill Toyota scoring summary. 6 plays, 59 yards, and TJ Yeldon with his 2nd of the night.
You know, Coach Vickery's been such an enjoyable guy to work with through the years. We met him when he was at Davidson.
Yeah, he's been doing this 27 years. 215 and 93 combined at Daphne, Davidson, and Mobile Christian. 27 years.
Just a football man, and, you know, you're not going to believe this. Jim, but I met him when I used to go run at the track at Davidson, and he was coaching Davidson High School football.
You know
Can
what?
you imagine me running, Jim?
Hey, you ran well enough to get a scholarship at Bama.
Not on a track.
He was the baseball coach at Spring Hill College.
Yep. He is a baseball man, was drafted by the Montreal Expos.
Right.
Baseball player as a young man growing up.
You know, we've just been blessed in this area with just football guys like him and, you know, others. You know, Coach
Terry
Henderson
Curtis.
at Murphy.
Yep.
Terry Curtis, he's still doing it. I mean, it's just really blessed that we've got our young men in these guys' hands that have the players at heart and the best for them and the best for high school football.
Carl Lee banged up. That's not good news for McGill. You know, and Coach Vickery gives Steve Savarese a lot of credit for kind of raising the bar, the way things are coached down here. And I think in large part you have to say that's true.
Sure.
He took that Daphne program to heights it never even dreamed of. And you watch the way these teams and programs are coached now, it's pretty intensely.
And good to see Savarese is in the position where he is now, where he can probably spread that throughout the state. He's at the controls.
1st and 5 after the penalty. Trey Roberts across the 30. He's got a first down. Hey, Vic, you dealt with this, but we've got a Hey Guys question coming here. And, of course, a lot of us talking about T.J. Yeldon tonight. But once a high school player commits to college, is he absolutely bound to them, or can they change their mind? What's involved in the announcement of committing to a college?
Well, of course, everybody knows a verbal is just that, and that's all it is a verbal. But until he puts his name on that dotted
Houston
line,
Nutt has brought that up lately about the verbal. But, yeah, so you have a verbal commitment, but then actually you have signing day, and once you sign, then you're locked in, or then you have to sit out a year if you transfer.
Sure.
Those type of things. Trey Roberts in the backfield, strung along, and he's going to be hit for a loss of about 5. I know a flag at the end of that one. Very odd place for a flag, as you had Eric Lee there battling with Will Killian.
Leo Batiste blew it up from the beginning. As you take a look at it here, he's in the backfield, number 3 there, just redirecting. And I don't see what happened at the end. You guys?
It was way away from the play, and the only 2 people there were Eric Lee and Will Killian.
Maybe
After the play, personal foul, defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run.
Eric Lee did not strike us as a personal foul machine.
No, and he comes off the field. No, we were just talking about, as we see the end of the play there, we were talking about that young man that was on the pregame show going to South Florida, and just so impressive going there to get his management information systems degree, and that was as important as what kind of football team he got. He said, I want to get my degree. He's got franchise. I mean, he's our Scholastic Athlete of the Week. We'll hear from him.
We've had some impressive kids on our pregame show, and he's at the top of the class.
Yep. He's like Greenwood. He's a Hall of Famer in that category.
There you go.
He was just a great young man.
The lot of character.
2nd and 1. Trey Roberts up the middle, and he'll bang ahead for the first down. Don't forget, you can follow us on Facebook as well. Search UTB44 High School Football Game of the Week. Got lots of folks on there. Jared Kihas, our producer of high school football and director as well, puts a lot of great information on the Facebook page.
Jared Kihas and staff do a lot of great things all week long to provide you with the pictures you see tonight. And that website is a great resource.
he's the maestro.
He really is.
And you see Jalen Coleman. Yeah, he's posting things on there. 1:33 in the morning, late after games on Friday nights. On the left side, Trey Roberts has got a hole. Roberts with one man to beat inside the 30. Inside the 20, lowers the shoulder, and he's inside the 15.
We've talked about this. McGill can score points. This Daphne offense looks like they're going to be a lot to handle all night, but this McGill-Toolen team, they're no slouch.
Yeah, I like the way Preston Hughes, though, just kept the angle with the back there, because, this guy's got pretty good speed, and he just stayed with him and bumped him right on out.
How about Harrison Loudon opening up that hole for him there, Vic?
No doubt. You got to call out the big uglies when they get an opportunity.
I tell you, Loudon, last time we were here, too, I guess it was the Davidson game.
He got me excited then.
He had a great game.
They'll spot it at the 14 as we're approaching a half a minute to go in the opening quarter. Heavy line to the left for the Yellow Jackets. They'll go that way. Roberts to about the 11. Eric Lee was in there at the bottom of the pile. And there, Ryan Anderson is there as well.
Getting a decent push over the nose guard right there. They got a big nose guard in there. Chris Shaw is the center that's going up against big Daquan Abel, 6'2", 265. But Shaw's got some size himself. But that defensive line for Daphne, again, it looks like you're watching a college game.
Sure, yeah. Daphne will...
Yeah, Jim thinks they can beat Vandy.
Watch the clock run out as we are through one. 14-7, number 1 and number 6 battling tonight. Rivals.com called it the game in the nation to be watching tonight, and you're doing just that here on UTV 44. Yeah, sometimes games get overhyped. Not the case.
No.
So we start the second quarter. Double tight end set for the Yellow Jackets. Lost the ball. Trey Roberts lost the ball and lies loose and finally covered up by the Yellow. That's twice Roberts has not been able to hold on to it.
One on a pitch and one on a handoff, and I don't know who's to blame.
Well, you can't blame anybody on a handoff. It looks like he got it clean and just didn't secure the football. And
boy, that ball was on the ground a long time.
Yeah,
everybody was going to the right, and the ball squirted to the left, so Roberts regains the fumble.
And it's unusual for the offensive guy to turn around and find it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you can see why the advantage is with the defense there. They're all going that way.
Sure, and their eyes are that way.
Yipper.
Now you go 3rd and 11. Josh Dunn comes in at tight end.
They might have had something there, too.
Yeah, they've been running a lot of unbalance and trying to outman them to a certain side and doing it again right here to the right.
Jason Smith zips this one to the near side. It's nowhere near. And now we're going to get a flag, and it's nowhere near because of pass interference.
It might be more of a hold. Would it be a hold rather than a pass interference if he was being held while he was trying to make his break?
Torrin McGaster, the guilty party there.
It was such a quick 3-step drop. I didn't get to see the receiver. Let's take a look here.
He let it go, that's for sure. And he's expecting Lee to be right there, and maybe McGaster's got a hold of him there.
Well, I did thought the timing was way off, but I thought it was just a receiver-quarterback issue, but the defensive player had something to do with it.
But it shows just how, as we listen in on the...
Pass interference against the defense. Penalties half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Wow, on 3rd and 11.
Can you say big call?
Yeah, and it just shows that millisecond it takes to throw off the timing because that pass, we were like, what? That was nowhere near.
Sure,
but now you know why.
Yeah. He got him off his route there. And I always say as a defensive player, just take away the inside. Get that position because you got the outside boundary to help you as well. And you got to make a perfect pass to the outside. Always take away the inside.
They bring Garrison back at fullback. Carl Lee to the bottom of the screen. They give it to Garrison. Garrison on the left side, and he'll pick up a couple. Hey, as we've talked about the long winning streak of Daphne, we get ready for our trivia question here tonight with 1 minute gone in the second quarter. Kind of simple. Who was the last team to beat Daphne and win?
Wow, you got to go back last year, right?
They were 15-0 last year.
Oh, you got to go back before that, huh?
Yeah, the last game of the 09
okay, well,
year.
we're throwing the question out. We're not trying to solve it.
We know these guys know the answer.
The two of you just gave it away. You led us to that point. They were undefeated last year.
Right.
They were 8-0 this year. There's your 23.
Timeout. Coach Bart Sessions is the play clock at 2.
That's been a concern, Jim.
Well, and it's on purpose. I mean, they're trying to really limit those, but like Vic said, if you're not used to that, it throws you out of sync a little bit.
Sure.
So they want to try to slow the game down.
Well, they're trying to go unbalanced, looks like, every down here, and they just weren't lined up, and then they had to switch them over, and just time was running out and not able to get the play off.
More folks who bring you high school football. Our halftime show, M&S Music. We'll hear from the bands tonight. Both Daphne and McGill, Navigator Credit Union. Caligaz Printing, Offset Digital, and Mailing. Good folks over at Caligaz. And let's go down to Pat Greenwood. Pat.
Well, Jim, you're right on it. What they're doing is that play's coming in plenty of time, but they're waiting to that play clock start. So 25, 24, 23. Then they're sending the guy in with the play, and that time just took a little extra time, that 4 or 5 seconds when you're trying to take time off the clock. That 4 or 5 seconds makes a big difference. And again, like you said, I think it's a calculated move trying to keep Yeldon off the field, but at the same time, you don't have a lot of time to waste there.
Yeah, and you wonder, you'll wonder about that in the second half, because that's when you can get by with burning a timeout in the first half. Usually doesn't always that haunt you, but boy, in the second half, they really become like gold nuggets, Vic.
Sure, yeah, they become more precious at that time. Right now, it's just academic, and you just have them just in case, you want to get something done at the end of the half. But the end of the game could be game winning.
Hey, while we got a second here, I do want to pass along some thoughts. A friend of mine, big fan of high school football, Burley Shedd, lost his dad this week. His dad, 58-year season ticket holder for Clemson, his alma mater. 58 years in a row. There was talk of maybe some tiger paws on the cheeks at the funeral today. Rolling out, Jason Smith, back of the end zone, touchdown Yellow Jackets as they go to Jeffrey Stanley, who gets the score.
Good crisp pass. Dan talked about it. He's two-dimensional. He can run the football. He can pass the football. Great pass right there as you take a look at him rolling out.
Little touch to get this one over the linebackers here, Big.
And then he zips it, too, just right there.
He's accurate enough for me to call him two-dimensional.
James Rayner was the linebacker there at 6 feet trying to get up and tip that one.
Sorry, Jim, about this big game situation. Daphne's played in the big games. Well, now McGill's been in a big game. They're holding their own. I think that factor is going to start to diminish as the game goes along, as long as McGill hangs around.
Very good point.
Early on in the second, Hamlin ties this one. Not by much, but enough. We're tied. 14-14. We got a great one going here tonight between two great teams, and Jason Smith even it up with his touchdown pass. Our score here tonight. And, I think some people, and who knows, Daphne is so great, they could end up running away with this game. Who knows what happens. But I think there were some people maybe watching this game coming in tonight saying, all right, so is it smoke and mirrors for McGill? How is it? Vic, not smoke and mirrors.
No.
They're a good football team.
McGill's the real deal, and they're proving themselves tonight, and they're showing a lot of character after getting punched in the mouth.
Yeah, chasing the whole night. What you think? One of my keys to the game, which I almost took this and just started a bonfire after the first two plays. But
we were 20 seconds in. You didn't have a chance to talk, and it was 7-0.
Control the clock, get a lead. They haven't gotten that yet, but they've done a great job of catching up twice. And this Daphne offense, if you're just joining us now, like I told Coach Vickery last year, he said, who do we remind you of? I said, the only team that I can think of is the Globetrotters.
Pooch kick to the near side. Fair catch call for Batiste. Going to have to hurry, and he gets up to the 34.
Good play by that young man. But, good film study shows that McGill does that, so should be expected, and I'm sure Coach Vickery had a good talk with those guys.
I think the key thing Bart Sessions likes on that beside the touchdown is the 4 minutes and 2 seconds on the drive.
Yeah, what I like about the throw, too, that's not the primary receiver, too.
Yeah.
Smith finds 34, not the primary guy on that. Smith's been very impressive.
5 receiver set.
And Yeldon out there in the slot, always a danger.
A big danger, too, with McGill when they had 10 on the field. Need all 11, and now
he's got some movement.
Now they have 12.
Well, they may need that many.
Yeah, they had 12.
They on the flag them on that. And Yeldon counts as 2. Come on,
yeah,
that's right.
Jim, like Dan's been saying he's a college player already.
Illegal substitution. Right of defense.
Yeah, Jeffrey Stanley, who just scored the touchdown, came in. And then I thought they had 10, but I thought, boy, that looked right. And then you might have heard me. 7, 8, 9, 10, trying to get the count in. And there, sir, TJ Yeldon so far. What a big night. 121 yards total offense. There, 103 yards on the ground. He's got the reception as well.
Not an exceptional night for him.
Wow. Jonathan McGaster, I'm just guessing they might have been trying to go to him, Vic.
Yeah, he's a bit anxious, ready to get the play going, but I'm worried about McGill's defense here just by alignment there. Got that safety.
Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
You know, splitting the difference there with Yeldon being in the slot, I'd rather just kind of man him up or, you know, at least get heads up with him.
5th penalty for 42 yards against Daphne tonight. That's un-Trojan-like.
You know what would be an interesting game is Daphne against Blunt, because one just lines up and says, here's the way we're going to play. You almost know what their playbook is, and they stop you. And, of course, Daphne does everything under the sun offensively.
Yeldon, straight arm, and Allen will pull him down. Well, there's one of the guys now. A flag at the end of that one. Some excitement, and a late flag comes in. Boy, that might be 15 more. As Jonathan Rogers was there. Unless they're going to call a face mask on the straight arm of Yeldon. I think that might be it.
Well, I think that Yeldon, could he have committed the face mask?
That's what I'm saying. On the straight arm, he may have grabbed a hold of the face mask.
I'll tell you what, give Allen a lot of credit. Allen doesn't look as strong as Yeldon. He's getting face masked, or nearly. He might not be. I don't know, but they threw the flag anyway.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that, because a lot of time the offensive guy gets away with that, doesn't he, Jim?
Yeah, that says the defensive guy. You know, the offensive guys always say that's fine, but you know, usually the shot to the face isn't called, but when you grab a hold, that's when they knock off the 15 extra.
I guess he had it. It almost looked like the shoulder pad by the end of that play.
Well, if you look at Yeldon, you just saw the strength there. He had that defensive guy by the face mask and pretty much just set him down. It was the weight of the defensive guy hanging on that pulled Yeldon down.
But he hung on.
That's the key.
And that's why I give Allen a lot of credit. Again, college back, high school linebacker.
This will drop it back to the 18. They need to get to the 45. 2nd and 27.
Globy's got something for this. They've got something for this.
Fleeton has time. Looks on the right side, fires it for Yeldon, comes back, makes the catch, and he's got the first down right at midfield.
Yeah, I was going to say, and it involves number 4, and it was a wheel route out of the backfield. Vic and I were looking at it at the same time saying, here it comes.
Yeah, you saw it all the way. I mean, usually he catch that thing over his shoulder and just keeps going down the sideline. Yep. He's got excellent hands, great ball skills. Just can't say enough about this young man. He's going to be fun for those Tigers in a few years.
Has to come back to get this one a little bit. But you're right, Vic. Otherwise, that's a tough assignment for Simon Cortopassi, the linebacker, to be out there in coverage.
We documented Cortopassi. He's not even 160 pounds. He's an outside linebacker, and tonight facing one of the freak talents of the state. One play at a time.
Don't forget you can log on to utv44.com to vote for the player of the game at the conclusion of tonight's game. Just a hunch, number 4 will be listed on there.
Got to make the top 3, right?
Yeah. So
I feel like he's going to be on the ballot.
You can do that. We'll also hear from the player of the game, player of the week last week, coming up at halftime tonight.
Going back to the question, remember, he's only a verbal commitment, so keep that in mind,
Careful.
fans.
Fleeton looking, going to pull it down and run, and it'll be knocked out of bounds, a little shy of the first down.
Good decision by him, because he saw more Yellow Jackets back there in the deep back than he's seen Daphne Trojan, so he just said, I'll keep it and get all I can and come back and play this third down.
Bring up a 3rd and short. Daphne 1 and 2 on 3rd downs so far here tonight. And the 5 receiver set again. Yeldon in the slot. Fleeton tried a quick hard count, and now they'll bring Yeldon in the backfield on 3rd and 4.
Yeah, I bet Vickers going to stay in that formation one of these downs.
They pitch it to Yeldon. Yeldon's hitting the backfield. Still on his feet, and finally brought down. Oh, the timing of that just wasn't ready to go for the start of that play.
Hey, that's how they do. McGill, they'll be in right position. You know, you're not going to get them out of position too often. And he was right where he should be and just play it.
Yeah, Jeffrey Stanley coming in to make this one. It just looked like the pitch was a little close to TJ.
Yeah, they're used to getting that little quick thing, and he just outrunning everybody, but not against McGill. You know, they're going to be in great position. I mean, you got to give credit to Sessions for getting these guys lined up and playing the defense that's called. Gap integrity is just perfect every time I've seen McGill.
So the punting team will come on.
Hey, not just Sessions, but Ricky Chancery.
Oh, boy.
Defensive coordinator. They're on the same page. One of the great defensive coaches in South Alabama for years.
Used to be at Daphne. Looking fake. Roberts trying to take off and now decides to get the kickoff. Gets a high kick. You had heard the McGill coaches yelling, watch the fake, so they stayed home.
I will say definitely that's the player decision there. That wasn't a call fake.
Spring Hill Toyota Spotlight. You can build your own Toyota. You can get great used cars, and you can check out the certified new and used vehicles all at springhilltoyota.com, 3062 Government Boulevard in Mobile.
Game tied, and McGill-Toolen has the football.
7:55 on the clock. They're feeling good about themselves, Jim.
They should be.
You know, sometimes you see games, you're involved in games, don't have a lot of pace flow. This has got good flow, good pace for both teams.
It's got some great players.
That helps.
Yes, it does.
Great team.
Smith on the inside give. Garrison out to about the 26.
He's just running that little trap there, and they're pulling that tackle inside, and he's just finding whoever shows in there and walling them off, and then that fullback comes through there real quick, try to pop some. It's good for 7 yards. They can use that.
Daphne King on Roberts, and so far they really haven't gotten him on the trail yet, so the little fullback counter and get what you can.
Pickup of 6, so 2nd and 4. Take that all night long on first down.
Sure.
No doubt.
2nd and a very, very manageable down.
Knowles in the slot, Imson to the bottom of the screen. Smith looking over the middle. Now he's going to pull it down, and he's going to be hit and dropped at the 21. Coming from the safety or the linebacker position again is Coleman, the sophomore. We've called his name a few times tonight.
Yeah, I think he wanted to go to Stanley, the halfback, going straight up the middle or going deep, but just didn't have the time he needed for him to get deep and get away.
Also in there, Eric Lee.
Yep, and Anderson wasn't far behind.
There's Eric Lee, 5 sacks now on the year. He's got a fumble recovery and a block kick as well. And as we said, he's the Scholastic Athlete of the Week, so we'll hear more from him later on.
I'm surprised we hadn't had Jim call his name earlier.
2 of 3 on 3rd down. Smith pulls it down, trying to get to the left and lunges ahead, and he's going to be well short of the first down.
Good job by Reiner staying home, inside linebacker, and when Smith tried to find that big opening he had earlier on a quarterback draw, it wasn't there.
Yeah, they're probably telling those backers, don't pull out of there until he gets past the last back and then sets up and looks like he's reading the receivers.
Yeah, so you go from 2nd and 4, try the pass play, get hit on the sack, just totally changed that whole drive around.
Yeah, I think they were looking for a big play there. McGill wasn't looking for a chain mover. They were looking for something big, and they paid for it.
Hamlin to punt. McGaster wasn't back deep, and now we get a flag over on the far side on 4th and 5.
Start counting the people out there. Is they have too many? Or a sideline warning?
Yeah, looks like that. I think you're going to be right, Mick. Just a sideline warning.
Yeah, those side judges need some space to operate, and especially with the way this game's going, they're going to be running up and down the field, and they just don't want to have an accident with a player on the sideline. Give them their space to work. Also keeps them out of danger.
Yeah.
Ask the coach over, New Orleans.
Hamlin will punt from the 10. McGaster at the 32. Bit of a high snap. Low spiraling kick. McGaster can't decide if he wants to pick it up. Lets it go again. Another good punt by McGill to the 32. A lot of emotion from both teams out on the field. You can tell. Everyone knows what's at stake here. And the Trojans take back over. This Daphne program. We get a TV timeout. We'll talk more about it when we come back. Tied up, 5.5 to go on our UTV 44 Game of the Week. Brought to you by Subway. McGill had the ball. Chance maybe to get their first lead of the night. Ended up a 3 and out.
Defense picking up a little traction here on both sides.
TJ Yeldon on the right side over the 30 to the 32-yard line.
Stepping up in there with authority, Dan. Just not what we've used to seeing out of him, but he's doing it this year.
He's really matured. He's really, taken on the challenge. And he has just become a brute with a lot of physical talent aside from the strength.
Yeah, there it is. Look at him run through the tackle just about. If you don't hang on for dear life, he's still running.
Corley with a stop there.
That's the young guy, Corley, about 210 pounds. He won't be 210 pounds in a couple of years.
On the right side, Yeldon pushes ahead for the first to the 40-yard line, maybe the 41.
He's got such quick feet, too. He's just athletic in a quick, smooth way. And then he's a big guy.
Sure.
What are they going to do once they get him in the weight room at Auburn? If he's 210 now...
We'll probably keep him out of there just so he'll stay as fluid as he is.
Fleeton on the right side hits Newsome. He's got the first down out of the backfield. So we see the fullback being utilized a little more than usual for Daphne here tonight.
Mixing it up, the offensive coordinator coordinating over there, just having a good time, having his way, keeping the McGill guys on their toes. They don't know where it's going to happen. Is it going to be Yeldon or is it going to be a pass?
It's actually his 13th reception tonight.
Like a Vegas card dealer. You know, the offensive coordinator, Daphne, they can just keep your head spinning.
Fresh set of downs. Speaking of head spinning, Yeldon to the 33.
Yeah, he's at that second level Jim was talking about earlier, and there's my man Jalen Square having to tackle him. But it's 15, 10 yards down the field. That's not what you want happening. Chains get kicked again.
Another first down for the Trojans. Talked about this team defending state champions. Won it back in 2001 as well. Both years, perfect seasons.
With a perfect season going right now.
Yep. Play clock inside 10. Fleeton hit. And they try to strip it away, but he's still on his feet, and he'll finally be brought down. Portapassy, the first one in there.
Yeah, I thought he almost threw it there, and it was going to land in a McGill defender's hand, but he held on to it. Good job by the quarterback, just not turning the football over.
If there's a guy on this team who actually is like a Yellow Jacket, it's Portapassy. That's the 155-pound outside linebacker. No one has told him that he's 155 pounds yet.
And he wouldn't believe it if you tell him.
No.
Came around Newsome there. 2nd and 14. Yeldon on the right side. Drops the shoulder. And he's inside the 20.
Bodies are down.
Inside the 30, excuse me.
Oh, when he drops that shoulder,
yeah,
somebody pays.
Yeah, there was Portapassy again. You know, Portapassy thinks he's a bigger boy than him, so he just lays all he's got into him.
But you like Cordy. He's not afraid to stick his nose in there.
That's what you want.
He's the chicken hawk.
3rd and 6.
You know, Coach Sessions said up and down his roster, these guys will compete, and that's the best quote I've ever heard.
Last time out taken in the first half here by Daphne. Get you an out-of-town score. Murphy leading Davidson 7-5 at the half.
You sure that's not the Cardinals and the Rangers?
It's the score. Of course, we got a big one going on tonight. Thomasville and Jackson.
Yeah.
Jack Hankins today. Talked to him on the phone. And Tyler Haynes was going to be starting at quarterback. As we take a look at more of our friends who bring you high school football every Friday night here on UTV 44. I want to thank all of them. And if you happen to be in one of their businesses, stop in and say, hey, I like watching you guys on Friday night. The Orthopedic Group. You know, if you're in there, you're probably got other things on your mind at the Orthopedic Group besides talking about high school football. Same with Cockrell's Body Shop. I know my fender's banged up, but I really like you on Friday nights. Go see Tim Cockrell, Tyndall Credit Union. They bring you our instant replay every week.
Yeah, I know my credit's in a negative balance right now, but how about that high school football?
3rd and 6. One of 3 tonight for Daphne on 3rd down. Yeldon right up the middle, make it 2 of 4 and maybe more. Yeldon 10-5 touchdown.
Just a Yarley back, got a nose for the end zone, plays behind his pads. What else can we say, Dan?
You know, the pictures speak 1,000 words right there.
Just shut up and let the picture go.
I'm telling you, watch the replay. We don't have to say anything. This is going to be Mr. Football in the state of Alabama, more than likely.
Sure, yeah.
I don't know who the voters are, but just send them this.
3rd touchdown of the night for TJ Yeldon. 25 on the year. And Brandon Roberts try to make it 21-14. And he does. It's a nice drive by Daphne.
Absolutely. Right before the half, getting the lead.
Watch the touchdown
more
here.
Methodical, and there you go.
Yeah, look at him just make a stick there and then just cut back and just finds the end zone and just gets there, Dan. Finishes the run. Runs through a good tackler there in Jalen.
The acceleration, too. I mean, he can shift his gears. And you can see why he plays so much time at wide receiver, too, Jimmy's that kind of body and those kind of moves.
Yeah, and the effortlessness that you see is just like anybody who's great at what they do.
You can't do it against pylons like he does it against people.
Pat Greenwood.
Oh, getting to watch this guy on the sidelines, fellas, I'll tell you, if he's not Mr. Football in the state of Alabama, I don't know who is, because he's so strong, so powerful, but it just doesn't look like he's working hard out there. I mean, it's very effortless, and he's a heck of a running back and a joy to watch, I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
If he's not Mr. Football, let the air out of every football in the state in protest.
I agree with that.
He is something special. And so McGill will get it back now with 3:14 to go. McGill will get it back. They also will get it to start the third quarter.
Yeah, they've moved the ball well. We'll check those stats at halftime. They've been just fine offensively.
Roberts to kick off. He's got the strong leg. Marshall back at the 6. Trey Roberts, the up man, to the near side. And Roberts will take it at the 6. Roberts with a wall in front of him. Right up the middle. Trey Roberts looking for the sideline. Roberts at midfield. Still on his feet inside the 40. Preston Hughes to make the stop.
Preston Hughes has been doing a good job just keeping this good angle on these fast backs for McGill and saving touchdowns. You saw him do it a little bit earlier here. Otherwise, this guy's just gone, and we've seen him do it before. But right here, look at him just play the position correctly. Gets his head across the bow and gets the tackle.
Yeah, but you're talking about a tackle 60 yards downfield. Let me talk about McGill. This team, where other teams emotionally, get let down, they don't let that happen. They don't look at the scoreboard. They don't. That play was over. Yeldon's touchdown. They bounce right back. And now they're in great position to maybe tie this thing up for the half.
Third touchdown of the half for Yeldon. Trey Roberts on the left side with a big hole, and he's going to be close to another McGill first down and may just have it.
There's Hughes again.
Yeah, O-line for McGill not getting embarrassed.
And I thought you made a great point, Dan, the fact that this McGill team not in awe of anything and feels like they should be 8-0 and they're here playing. And, when you get any team, especially a bunch of 16 and 17-year-old kids believing, hey, I mean, that's coaching right there. That's what that is.
Well, Coach Sessions has said it, and I keep repeating it. He said up and down his roster, each guy will compete, and that's the best compliment you can get of a team and a coach saying that. And you're seeing it here, guys. You just watch the football game.
Knowles and Lee. It's the bottom of your screen of the receivers. He'll pitch it to Roberts. Roberts looking for a block. He got one, and he's inside the 20 again. That's Harrison Loudon, who's played great up front tonight for McGill.
Rick, I think that was another example of them trying to outflank Daphne before the snap, and they're trying to, in a way, out-formation Daphne a little bit. Get more bodies on bodies.
Yeah, and he's reading his blocks well, too, to get that extra yardage there. He waits on his lineman to get out there and make a push, and then he cuts right up under it and heads upfield. But, yeah, they're definitely doing the unbalanced line you're talking about. Just trying to just get more men over there, trying to outnumber the defense.
Stanley checks in for Roberts. Garrison at fullback. Lee with single coverage to the top of the screen. They give it to Garrison up the middle. And Garrison spins to about the 17.
Keeping those inside linebackers honest by doing the little trap. Hit them outside, see if they're going to start running. We'll come inside.
Yeah, Reiner, again, staying home. Made a play right there in the middle of the field.
Jenkins in there to help on the tackle as well.
I think that's the first time I've seen McGill line up in 11 personnel and run the football.
This is where
it's been unbalanced.
And this is where Smith, pass run option.
Yep.
Quarterback draw.
Very dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Play clock down to 2. They barely get it off. They give it off to Trey Roberts. Roberts up the right side. Touchdown, McGill.
And they came back with the unbalanced line and just ran it right up the gut there.
That play clock was less than 1 when they snapped it.
And I think that's a look to Vic's point, that's a look that when they've unbalanced, they've gone in that direction. Instead, they throw you off. They
did something different that time. Sent him right up the middle. Yeah.
Right. They don't go to the corner. They go right to the gut.
There you go. Now, north and south.
Untouched for Roberts for the score. And we're a PAT from this one being 21-all with a minute 12 to go in the second.
I'm embarrassed to ask where's the defenses.
I think you got two really good offenses. That's part of it.
Yeah, that is.
I don't believe in those.
So the PAT is good, 21-21.
Old 99 dies hard, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, I don't think it's ever going to go out of him.
If he doesn't believe in good offenses after watching these teams.
Now I will say, rarely do you. We talked about those timeouts coming back to haunt you the first half. Daphne out of timeouts with a minute 12 left here in the first half.
Yeah.
So that could be a factor.
Yeah. And, surprisingly, as I've said, Jim Cox hadn't called Ryan Anderson and Eric Lee's name yet. Yeah, maybe one time you called Lee.
Yeah, that's really, Ryan Anderson, we talked about him, 12.5 sacks early tonight. Wow, this is a good one. We're glad you're with us, and we're also glad these folks helped to bring us games. UJ Chevrolet, Bud Urquhart, and all the fine. My wife's going to have her car detailed there on Tuesday at UJ. Heritage Homes, more of everything. Frank Lott. Smith Industrial Service, thanks to Chris Smith and all the folks at SIS for bringing the high school football every Friday night. And Will, too, the Hall of Famer, Wes Williams. We'll hear from Wes later in tonight's game, inducted into the McGill Hall of Fame a few weeks ago. Congratulations to a longtime supporter of high school football in the Mobile area.
Friend of mine and a co-worker that he purchased a brand new automobile at UJ today.
How about that?
Yeah.
Good Friday for him.
Good Friday.
Well, this is kind of like the Thrill in Manila. We're blow for blow, punch for punch, left, right, last guy standing.
UTV 44 Instant Classic. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I'm glad we're here
and
for it.
And we're broadcast on 2 stations tonight. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. So with 1:12 left, we're ready for the kickoff. And a lot of folks from Daphne made the drive over here, like Vic said, tailgate early. That far sidelines, that's as packed as we've seen it here at McGill.
They're standing along the fence.
Yep.
Packed in the end zone.
As early as Tuesday, you saw tickets on StubHub for this game. Hamlin now is going to squib this one. Hits the up and ball is loose, and the Yellow Jackets have it. Put a lot of heat on that one, and it hit James Rayner, the linebacker, and McGill has it. The kicking game, McGill pulling out all the tricks. And now they have one timeout left. Watch. The squib kick. And it hits off Rayner.
Brooks Robinson would have held on to that one. You can hardly blame Rayner.
And that ball was still loose. And McGill, I think, at the bottom of the pile.
Yeah, we've got a player down. I think Rayner a little bit shooken up on that. Let's hope he's okay.
Might have knocked the wind out. In all seriousness, the ball might have knocked the wind out of him.
Yeah, it was kind of like a strike in a bowl.
Rayner had a chance for a lot of bad things to happen on that play because you had the ball come straight at him on a skipping line drive.
Like
and
a short hop.
Yeah, and then you had all the players converging on him from McGill.
Now, even through all that excitement, these guys calm down and show some sportsmanship, take a knee as the injured players down. Love that.
Wow, Rayner, he got hit by 2 guys in the helmet.
Yeah, I think, he's up.
Yeah, thank God that young man's up. To his feet, heading back to his sidelines.
He's not all there, though, so.
A little bit woozy, but that's a great sign that he can go off under his own power.
Of course, everybody hypersensitive and rightly so about concussions at all levels of sporting events these days.
As you take a look at Sessions, look at his body language. He's confident. He's feeling good. He knows he's in this football game.
Yeah, and I think it just shows the work that goes on during the week to get ready for one of these games, because there's your Alex Pond. Get a good shot of Alex Pond. And now Daphne a little slow to get out there defensively. McGill has one timeout left, and they've got it at the 46. Roberts pitches it back off to Lee, looking to come to Smith on the near side, and he's got it. Smith cuts it at the 25, inside the 15.
They have just kicked over the toy box, and anything goes tonight. At midfield.
You got a reverse and then a halfback pass back to the quarterback, and the quarterback turns right into a running back right here, cuts back inside, trying to get to the end zone, but gets pulled down from the back.
What a pass by Lee.
Absolutely, with the pressure in his face.
So, now you get a chance, too. Has Daphne ever trailed this year? I don't think so.
Well, they're waking up now. They're in a dogfight, and they're realizing it.
Roberts up the middle, inside the 10, inside the 5.
Boy, if you can run it between the tackles on Daphne, you have just given yourself a chance to do what you want to do.
Sure. And that's going to open up the playbook to do some other stuff, which they are opening it up.
Yeah, McGill now hurrying. They're down to 20 seconds left trying to get over the playoff. They have the one timeout left. Second down at about 5. They're going to try to snap it. They can get too many men, but now down to 10. They pitch it off to Roberts, and he's up in it, so they'll have to take the timeout and try a field goal to get the lead. Boy, they would have loved to have gotten 6 there.
Well, if they had a quicker snap, they had a receiver uncovered.
Clock ran all the way down to 1. Actually, they should be about 6 seconds left on the clock there.
What a play by Tarn McGasker defensively there to get his nose in there and get Taylor down. I mean, he was... Yeah, Trey Roberts, get him down from getting that corner.
Boy, if you're McGill, you can't take the timeout there because you'd love to take the timeout, set up your play, but if you don't get it, then you're out of timeouts and you don't get in the end zone. Then you come away with no points.
Yeah, so now you're depending on a kicker right here, which you rather depend on your talented offensive line and skill guys, but they have a chance at the lead here going in at halftime.
And we'll get the ball back.
And who saw that 60 seconds into the game when Daphne had already completed a 2-play, 62-yard drive.
Yep.
All with, of course, T.J. Yeldon.
And look at this crowd. The entire McGill sideline standing up. And you got a picture earlier. You saw Councilman William Carroll. He's all excited. He's a former McGill-Toolen safety.
Played at Florida A&M.
Went to Florida A&M, had a good career. Now back at home in politics.
So Hamlin will come out. This will be a 25-yard attempt.
Now, if somebody's going to have some jitters with the big game thing, could be the kicker. These other guys have been out there; they're mixing it up.
How about faking it, Dan? You've done everything else.
But wasn't it a famous coach that coached up at Tuscaloosa that always said, "Take the points, always take the points."
You think Vic would know that?
Well, when you're on the road for sure, but you're at home, do what you want.
I think you got a chance to take the lead over the number 1 team in the state with a field goal. And they do just that. 24-21, your halftime score. McGill on top of Daphne. I'm not sure why the crowd is not. Everybody's quiet with
Well, I think they're trying to figure out, did 5 seconds really go off on that play?
Yeah, that should be the end of the half. And if you're McGill, you're telling your kids, get in there. Now, Coach Sessions is happy. I think he wanted a roughing the kicker call on that. I think that's what he's upset about. I think that's exactly what he was looking for, but boy.
Dan, do we have a tussle officially?
We do. Pat Greenwood with Coach Sessions.
Thanks a lot, guys. Look, they punch you, counter-punch. They punch you, counter-punch. This has been entertaining to watch. I don't know if it's entertaining to coach.
I don't know if I can take another 2 quarters of this. I'm certainly proud of our kids, but hey, they're so physical, so athletic. We're going to have to really, really play better in the second half to have a chance.
And you talked about you can't stop Yeldon, but try to slow him down. What do you do to do that?
Yeah, I don't know. We've tried everything. He's such a great player. They do a great job scheming it. Offensive line, we just have to keep playing.
But you got to feel great about how you guys have responded.
I think our kids are going to compete with anyone. We said that early, and that's kind of proven out.
Okay, thanks a lot, Coach. We appreciate it. I'll tell you what, been one of the more entertaining games we've had, fellas.
Oh, absolutely, and what you'd hope for. And now, and I think this point gets bigger. Vic said it earlier. He said, hey, all the pressure's on Daphne. And you say, well, McGill's 8-0, Coach Bart Sessions his first year. And now suddenly I think that becomes a bigger storyline, Vic Lockett.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They're playing with everything hanging out. They're open the playbook and doing everything and continuing to play as a team, which is what I like, and competing up and down the roster. They're going to be in every football game.
24-21, our halftime score. It is the game of the week. When we come back, we'll hear a great band from Daphne coming up after this on our UTV 44 Game of the Week, brought to you by Subway. One of the great high school bands in our area from the Eastern Shore, the Daphne Trojan Marching Band, here on our Subway Game of the Week. Great performance from the Daphne Band on our M&S Music halftime show. Now let's enjoy the McGill-Toolen Marching Band. The third quarter here at the Lip. McGill-Toolen on top 24-21, taking their first lead in this one with that field goal to end the first half. A 21-yarder by Hamlin. 24-21 our score. I think a lot of people watching may be surprised at that. We're going to talk more about that, but the one thing we were very excited about seeing coming into this game was T.J. Yeldon. He is not disappointed in the first half. As
advertised, Yeldon's done it every way you can do it on a football field. His team's still trailing, but he's had himself one heck of a first half for sure.
Yeah, started the game out of the Wildcat formation, able to go to Horace Johnson, gets the completion there. They say, okay, he's thrown the ball. We've heard he can run it pretty well, and he can also catch the ball as well. That was a big third down conversion there for Daphne, and of course on the ground. Able to just bust through everybody. And Vic, I know you've been impressed, and you know better than anybody else.
Yeah, I'm wondering where the defense is for both teams, but just like you guys said, it's two good offenses and led by that young man there for Daphne.
Big first half for T.J. Yeldon. We'll talk all about that with the stats coming up. And by the way, that 24 points that Daphne has given up in the first half, that matches the season most they've given up in a game, and that was last week to Fairhope in a bit of a shootout. So we look at those halftime stats, pretty even as you would expect. Look at the total yards, 254 to 233. And defensive coordinators, they don't like those big numbers at the half like that.
No, I mean, somewhere somebody's got to make a play and turn this game around where it's just not score for score. And that's what I'm expecting to happen in the second half. Just what team's going to do it, yet to be seen, Dan.
If you're Daphne and you're making halftime adjustments defensively, what are you basically saying we gotta fix? What are you most concerned about?
Well, the quarterback has hurt him on the draw a couple of times, so you got to contain him. And then the backs, they've just did that unbalanced a lot and been successful at that, so they've got to get that adjustment in.
Let's go down the sidelines and hear from Pat Greenwood. Pat.
All right, guys, got a chance to talk with Glenn Vickery coming out of the halftime locker room. And he says he's pleased with his team's effort. He said the problem is they've just given up too many big plays. That's come back to hurt him. He also said that he wanted to win the kicking game. They haven't done that so far. That's the difference in the ball game right now, 24-21.
Yeah, No doubt about that. McGill's pulled out all the tricks there. Hey, that young man will be in the voting for the player of the game at the end of tonight's game. Last week, we did the Viger Spanish Fort game, of course, right here on UTV 44. Jamichael Winston, the player of the game. He was a force from that defensive end spot, and we can see why so much has been talked about from this young man, Winston. Boy, he is just an athlete, Dan Brennan.
Yeah, everywhere I went this week, he was being honored. The First and 10 Club, and then he had lunch with the Crichton Optimist Club, so I got to hang out with him a good bit. He's a good young guy. He's headed for Arkansas.
He was not honored at the Poe House for dinner, however. I think Joel had seen enough of him, the Spanish Fort quarterback.
Yeah, we talked about when these guys are coming at you, the Joel Poe was like being in the fun house. You know, every step was danger.
At the end of tonight's game, you can go to UTV44.com, and we will have the players of the game to choose from now.
But you've already postulated that 4 is going to get it.
That was, Vic, that was like from the New York Times crossword puzzle on Sunday.
Vice president of the Red Elephant Club. You don't get to be that by kicking around words.
Easy. This one, Jason Smith, the quarterback, to receive it. And Smith on special teams breaks some tackles. Smith across midfield. Jason Smith inside the 30, inside the 20, 10. Touchdown, Yellow Jackets.
Are you kidding me?
Well, right before your eyes. Don't believe your lying eyes, but that young man just went from the house to the house.
McGill kicked it to Yeldon on a short kick. They kick it right to Jason Smith. Without question, the most exciting guy on the field for McGill-Toolen and the most dangerous.
And Glenn Vickery just told Pat Greenwood, we need to win the kicking game. They have struggled there all night long, and McGill with a chance to go up 10, 15 seconds into quarter number 3.
And think about that. You got your quarterback back there receiving a kickoff. What a way to maximize your talent.
Exactly. I mean, he's got that kind of talent where if you can get him on the field, you do.
And get the ball in his hands? Yes. But they're doing it over there with Yeldon, too, so why not here?
You're right. That's the Frazier and Ali right there.
Sure. We have an injured player all the way back at the 33-yard line.
It was amazing how Yeldon, in this case, Smith, kept separating himself from tacklers who looked like they had an angle.
Sure. Yeah, they were right there, and he'd just make another step and kick another gear and make another step and kick another gear. As you take a look at it here, now step there, gear, step there, gear. And then another last step in the end zone to get to the end zone, and another gear.
Yeah, he ran away
touchdown.
From Jenkins, 78 yards on the touchdown run for Jason Smith.
Well, he's you want to know why McGill-Toolen is undefeated this year. They've got a lot of guys that play with a lot of heart and desire. They've got some talent, and then they've got Jason Smith, the quarterback, who takes it to a whole nother level.
And then Trey Roberts in the short guy either on that offensive side of the ball either. They've got him as a weapon as well. Yeah.
Torrin McGaster was banged up, and he goes off on the far side.
They can get this extra point. I mean, they're out 10 points.
Hamlin and the McGill-Toolen Yellow Jackets
stunning.
With 10 points between the last 5 seconds of the third quarter and 15 seconds to open up the second quarter and open up the third. The start of the game exactly how McGill did not want it to start.
Sure.
And now it is shifted. And how about McGill with 11:45 left to go in the third quarter has already put 31 up on Daphne.
Yeah, pretty impressive. And I thought that was the only way McGill could hang in there was to outscore this team, because I still think Daphne's going to get theirs. We basically got another half of football to go since that was such a dramatic punch on the kickoff. So you've got another 2 quarters to defend this Daphne team. So in no way can McGill let up, and they've got to keep it going offensively because Daphne's coming.
Yeah, Coach Sessions talks so much about wanting to keep the ball out of Daphne's hands. I think he's okay with that quick score, however.
Yeah, probably so.
Sure, and just like you saw that plane, the McGill Yellow Jackets are flying high.
They really are.
No doubt about it. And, they had the great call on the squib kick or the line drive kick on the, just off the ground. They got the ball back at the end of the third quarter, resulted in the points. And now they get the touchdown here.
And they almost got that onside kick.
Yeah, you're right.
It's all kind of gone their way. I'm going to get my notes again. Maybe they did make sense after all.
Well, this is the first time Daphne, we would assume the first time they've trailed all year. It's the most points they've given up. But also, let's not forget, They've won 23 in a row.
They have.
Defending state champs. Have maybe the best player in the state.
We have some, discussion, of course. Winston, I'm sorry.
Up in Hueytown.
Right? Hueytown.
This one at the 20 and now out across the 30, and that's Jonathan McGaster out to the 37.
Jameis Winston is a very talented quarterback and baseball player, too, up at Hueytown. Now, we've only gotten a chance to see him one time. It was as a junior. It was against the Spanish Ford defense. It just overwhelmed his offensive line. So exactly what he can do, we didn't really get a chance to see. Obviously, college recruiters know how good he is.
Yeah, he's having a big year this year for Hueytown.
Now, we know how good number 4 is. TJ Yeldon, great first half.
Well, this is unusual for him. He's going to play the second half.
Fleeton looking to go up top to the near side. This one incomplete. Good coverage as they try to go to Chris Sane, who's got 18 catches on the year. Good coverage by the Yellow Jackets there. We'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Marshall and Coleman both play excellent at cornerback.
Strong, yeah. And I had a chance to talk with Filbert Marshall Sr. He's the lead guy over there with the Cottage Hill Steelers, president of the park over there, enjoying his son. He's always here right outside the press box. Looking at his son competing. He did a good job there getting his head around when the football was in the air.
He really did.
Yeldon with 156 yards on the ground, 53 yards receiving, and 3 touchdowns in the first half. And he's up near 170 yards with that run.
And counting.
That'll be a first down.
And no panic for Daphne. You've got a strong offensive line. You've got TJ Yeldon. You're only down 10.
And in some cases, Yeldon's his own offensive line.
Yeah. I've noticed that.
At the 47. Yeldon right up the middle. He's hit and dropped. Again, good pressure by Andrew Allen, who has played very well tonight for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, Andrew Allen's not as big as TJ Yeldon, but again, don't tell him. Guy off the edge again who's played excellent football all year is Blake Lamont, number 14. Never any fear in the eyes of the Yellow Jackets this year.
Loss of 2.
Getting the play from the sideline.
Look over to Coach Campbell to get the play. Play clock down. Approaching 5 for the Trojans. Fleeton gives it off to Yeldon. Through some traffic.
That always works.
Yeah. I was going to say, it took him that long to figure out to hand it to 4.
To the 43-yard line. 3rd down coming up for the Trojans. And if you're just joining us, Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Nick Lockett, Pat Greenwood on the sidelines, Jared Kihas in the truck. Great high school football game here on UTV 44. One of the best ones we've seen. And we've seen some real good ones, especially this year.
We're getting emails and text messages that tell us the same.
Yeah, I got one from Coach Hardy there saying he's enjoying the game at home. My old coach in high school.
Good friend of mine as well as Yeldon gets to the line of scrimmage and he's stuffed and nothing more. Pat Greenwood.
Well, a torn McGaster update. He was the guy that was injured on the kickoff. And the good news, they were looking at his right leg. It looked like maybe his knee, but he's been up and walking around, has his helmet on, should be ready to go. So that's good news for that young man.
Great news, great news.
Yeah, Daphne needs him in the lineup.
Yeah, you want to see all hands on deck, and you certainly don't want to see anybody get injured in high school football.
Jalen Square will go back inside the 10. Brandon Edwards from the 42. 4th and 6.
Reshuffle the punt team.
Roberts with a good kick. Square calls for a fair catch. Lots of white jerseys around it.
Yeah.
But that takes nerves of steel. All that fair catch and just knowing that they're not going to hit you. They're not supposed to hit you. Facebook, you can find us. You can like our page. UTV 44 High School Football Game of the Week. Check us out on Facebook, and lots of great information there.
Yeah, I think Coach Hardy wants to go fishing with you next week, Jim.
I offered to take him in the morning, and he couldn't go. He had a previous commitment. I offered for him to join us tomorrow.
Wait a second. It's going to be 38 degrees in the morning. You'll be in your fur.
Do you think I'll be whining about the weather just a little bit early tomorrow?
Oh, man.
So, Daphne.
This guy does not like it once it's under 63.
You mean he's not going to get up and run tomorrow morning?
Did that today. Off day. Yeah. Running are the Yellow Jackets up by 10. Trey Roberts bottled up big. There's Eric Lee, the first one in there.
There you go. It's really on the Daphne defense right now. This team can score. I don't see McGill bottling them up the rest of the
right. I agree.
The evening, but this Daphne defense has got to begin to respond and slow down McGill.
Sure, and they've got to play up to their billing as well. You know, they've done it offensively, but defensively, we just hadn't seen their defense play up to as advertised.
Yeah, they got a chance to flip the field here after the good punt by Roberts. There's Trey Roberts, kind of a quiet 92 yards so far tonight. He's got the touchdown. Smith looking. He's going to pull it down. Wanted to throw. Now his receiver gets tackled out here. This one thrown up, and Leo Batiste almost there.
Yeah, he wanted to go to the back out of the backfield, but then he was tied up with him, number 3 there, and Roberts, then he got tackled.
Right, Roberts and Daphne just had that thing smelled out, too.
Yeah. They played good defense there.
Smith wanted to cut it back to the inside, but the linebacker was there. Nothing doing there, so 3rd and 13, and now here's where you do have to be careful against this Daphne team who's forced 14 turnovers on the year.
And I'll say this, you've got to be careful as Daphne right now, too. If they spread you out, Smith can make a play. He can get you those yards quick.
Smith on the keeper. Now looking. Goes back the other way and just goes down because they had Daquan Abel right there in front of him.
Yeah, they had the slot man totally uncovered and could have just stood up and throw it to him. He would have ran for at least 15, Dan. A little mix-up by the Daphne defense, but luckily McGill didn't recognize.
Trojans were on their heels a little bit as McGill spread them out, and luckily for Daphne, they make the play anyway, and the Trojans' defense going to get off the field.
That's a big stand for the Daphne defense.
And talking about what Jim said earlier, the field is flipped now. Back in Daphne's favor if they can just fair catch it here on the 50.
Horace Johnson back to receive after McGaster was banged up, and he'll take it to the 45. Lost the football. Still loose. Picked up by the Yellow Jackets. It's Allen on it at the 35. Just said McGaster got hurt, not back to receive the punt. So they bring in Horace Johnson on our first turnover.
Now, if you don't think the McGill sidelines believing now, they're knowing they're going to win it now.
How about the kicking game?
Yep, kicking game, turnovers, it's all McGill.
You talk about special teams, how special are they?
And that's
Mess up on them right here. See how
square, too.
Yeah.
And we did a game here a few weeks back. He made nearly every tackle on punts, if you recall.
Sure. That's why he's leading in tackles. You know, I said you don't want the free safety leading the team in tackles, but this guy doesn't come off the field when it comes to defense and the special teams.
So McGill flips the field on the turnover to the 35.
Big opportunity for the Yellow Jackets now. Huge.
I mean, if they pull away here with some points, they're really in a fight over there, the Trojans.
Imson to the top of the screen. Double tight ends for McGill. Smith play action. Looking to the near side for Lee into coverage, and Lee pulls it down inside the 10.
Cornerback is kind of there. Safety comes over, and Lee makes the play because good ball skills in the air.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He just went in between the safety, Trey Jenkins coming over. You thought he was going to pick it.
I thought Jenkins was coming over to take that one away, and I thought, okay, we're going to have back-to-back turnovers.
See how it unfolds. Vic, you've got it.
Yeah, look at Jenkins coming over there, and you think he's going to make a play, but no, he gets in the middle of him and goes up, catch the football, and comes down with it.
At its highest point.
Sticks.
Jenkins never left the field.
1st and goal at the 5. Trey Roberts hit and bottled up there. First time tonight, Ryan Anderson call him as he makes the stop.
Setting up the bootleg guys, too. I'm telling you, this quarterback, we know how he can run if you saw the kickoff to start the second half.
Sure, yeah.
But you pound it up there enough, and on the bootleg, he is deadly.
Jason Smith, junior quarterback.
And he's got the wide side to his left, too.
You can see the camera bouncing here because the McGill fans are all stomping their feet, the camera up on the press box.
They're excited. They've got reason to be.
2nd and goal. Still at the 5. They give it off. Trey Roberts on the right side lunges ahead. Touchdown, Yellow Jackets.
Guys, Ian Garrison laid a smashing block to free him up in there. You watch the replay, you're just going to see 38 getting in someone's grill and moving them out to make that play work. The fullback. Watch him here, number 38. He's just pushing his man out of the way, frees up the back to just run in the end zone.
Great job, Garrison.
What a stunner. This will reverberate across the state.
Roberts with his 2nd touchdown tonight. got down low there to make sure he punched it in.
We got a long way to go here, guys, but who wants it more?
Sure, and that's what it's going to come down to.
It is 38-21. McGill-Toolen on top of Daphne in our UTV 44 Game of the Week.
Doubleheader.
Brought to you by Subway. It was 21-21, McGill.
You know, most McGill fans were thinking, Jim, we hope we can keep this thing close and manageable.
Yeah, have a shot to win in the fourth quarter.
Daphne's saying, we now need to get it close and manageable.
Yeah, McGill's got even, now they're leaving.
Exactly.
17 unanswered on the board by McGill.
You documented how 10 of that was scored within
20 seconds.
20 seconds. End of the first half, start of the second.
And Hamlin, I think the kicker's a little pumped up, sends that one bouncing through the end zone.
They slipped the helium ball out there, I believe.
That's an old Disney trick right there, flubber.
You know, we were just saying in the break, talking up here in the booth, that, you know, we have got a whole quarter and 6.5 minutes left of football to play as we look at the scoring summary brought to you by Spring Hill Toyota.
How about Roberts now? More than likely over 100 yards or right about it. So we've been talking about TJ Yeldon, but number 4 from McGill-Toolen. Maybe a little quieter, not as spectacular, but he's been really effective.
Fleeton has time, fires over the middle, and that's incomplete.
What is Daphne going to do while in chase mode when they've never been in chase mode in so long anyway?
Well, they're going to learn a little bit about their character now, how they're going to compete when they're in the hole. So we learned that about McGill. Now we're going to see about the Trojans.
I think that's a great point, Vic, because, I mean, 30 seconds into the game, we're looking at each other up here like, ooh, wow, this could be,
this could get ugly quick.
Yeah, because that's what Daphne has done to a lot of teams. Fleeton, Yeldon on the outside, upended for a loss of 1 on the play.
Andrew Allen out there playing linebacker, just cut his legs out from under.
Shane Petrie, the safety, comes in as well.
Who made the hit? My goodness.
It might have been Petrie. It was Petrie.
Allen had it was low and high.
Sure, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. These guys play as a team defensively. Their gap integrity is just impressive.
They don't knock you out getting off the bus.
3rd and 11. Yeldon in motion. They fake to him. But now Fleeton looking down the middle of the field, looking for Sane, and it's overthrown.
But I got to say this, you had a chance here, but that is a low percentage play. You got to get a 3rd down. I'm not blaming the play calling. I'm just saying the fact is the chance of completing that pass, not that good.
Yeah, look at him. He's all the way going deep looking for it, but there's my man again, Filbert Marshall, is with him step for step, even if it's thrown on target there. Looks like he had a step on him, but he regained it real quick.
Now Marshall will stand at midfield, 10 on the line of scrimmage for McGill. And Roberts will stand at the 5, probably punting more tonight than he has all year as McGill put Chase on. Quarter pass, he was there. Fair catch called for. The 47-yard line is where McGill will start this drive.
You talk about a team that does all the little things right, but the fact is, doing the little things against a great opponent, that's big things.
No doubt about it.
To compete on that level,
no doubt.
to always have the angle, to be in the right spot.
All right, hey, here's our trivia question. Who was the last team and when to beat Daphne? Y'all were noodling it through saying, wait, they undefeated last year, won 8-0-23. 3rd round of the playoffs, Auburn beats them on November 20th. Is the last loss for Daphne, and up to the 45-yard line.
Daphne has not lost to an SEC team since.
That's right. Now, that, to be fair, that was pre-Cam Newton at Auburn.
Yeah, of course, Auburn High School. Yuck, yuck, yuck.
And they haven't played an SEC team in the past.
They play some pretty good football.
History.
Auburn, Opelika, Phoenix City up that way.
Some of those teams going to get a first-round matchup against one of these two teams in the playoffs. 2nd and 8 is now the play clock down.
So, Dan, do you start to squeeze the air out of the ball if you're McGill?
I don't think you change anything you're doing.
Trey Roberts hitting the backfield, slips a tackle, And then he slung down in a big way, and you would guess that was Ryan Anderson, and it sure was. That is a stereotypical Ryan Anderson tackle. He is big, strong, and physical.
Yeah, he has a nasty disposition by himself.
He does.
Take a look at it.
He's got a bad streak, Vic.
And, we thought he was going to be a factor, and he's like sick of this.
Wow.
In the league, I think he'd get a bill for that one.
Yeah, that was like Greco-Roman style, just
a little Nick Fairley action.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he's gotten sick of this, and he's had enough of it, and he's trying to make a statement to his defense like we were talking about. Hey, make a stand here. Let's show up and play like we've been playing all year.
It's time for them to do that.
Yeah, somebody's got to.
3rd and 5 for McGill. 4 minutes to go in the third. They pitch it to Roberts on the left side. Splits ahead, and he's going to be about a yard short.
Yeah, maybe a little bit less than that. They had some excellent blocking again right at the line of scrimmage. This team in black does not back down.
No, they're blow for blow like we've been talking about. Do you go for it here, Dan, or you punt it?
I think you go for it.
Wow. It looks like they're going to. Punt team usually they'll send them out late, but they'll see if they can pick up a yard. On the Daphne 38-yard line, they bring Garrison in at the fullback. He's had some big carries tonight. Hard count. Smith looks over. Bart Sessions going to take a timeout with 3:20 left.
A little gamesmanship, trying to draw them offside and get the cheap first down, but Daphne's up to the task.
See what they're going to do defensively, see what they're set up in.
If you punt it, the danger is you punt it out of the end zone, you pick up 18 yards.
Right.
And so
you get a first down, you still have the clock, you may drive to points, and you now are heading into the fourth quarter with a larger lead. That's why I think, he can do either one. I'm not head coach of the Yellow Jackets. I think going for it here is not a bad idea.
Also send a bit of a message to your team, Vic, by going for it on 4th and 1.
Hey, say, I believe in you guys. You've got this game in the bag. Let's go ahead and put it away.
Well, I think the trust on this McGill-Toolen team goes both ways. Again, I go back to a conversation I had with Bart Sessions in July, and I said, what do you think? What do you think about the job? What do you think about the team? I love these kids. I like these guys. I like coaching these guys. I said, really? Yeah, I really like coaching these guys. Well, you can see the way they respond to him. We saw it from week 1.
Sure.
And here's a guy that's won plenty of games on the other side, including 23 in a row, Glenn Vickery. He's coached a lot of people who are sitting in the stands who are fathers of players.
You're right. 27th year as a head coach.
I'm telling you, I saw some of the greetings down from both sides.
Wow.
Yeah, greetings from McGill daddies who played under Glenn Vickery at different stops.
Great look behind the curtain, Dan. They're going with that unbalanced look now.
4th and 1. Smith lost the handle on it, and he's going to be hit, but he falls forward. I think he has it. Wow.
That's a matter of good blocking. I mean, if you fumble it and still able to get positive yards.
Pat Greenwood.
Yeah, there it is. He got it by about a yard. But what I was going to say is that Coach Sessions just looked at his guys and said, let's go for it. Got to have confidence in your team. Great momentum as well. So, I think it's a great spot to go for it. And even though it looked bad to start with, didn't it? They still get the first down.
Don't draw it up that way.
Coach Sessions, first-year head coach. He's been a head coach for 8 games now, and very true to his conviction. Go for it. No hesitation.
And I got news. The bootleg's coming at some point.
Play clock at 2. They give it to Garrison, the fullback, and Garrison pushes it to the 32-yard line. And suddenly, you look up at the clock, and we're down to 2.5 to go in the third quarter.
My point about going for it, you continue to milk the clock. You're probably heading towards some points. Already up by 17. You are just dragging the life out of the Trojans.
Sure. And that's working on those defensive players mentally, and that's working on those offensive players that are standing over there watching
and who we
mentally.
We say who's Mr. Football. What's he doing right now? He's got his arms crossed.
Yep.
Watching the game. He's as effective as us right now.
Yeah, that's the way Coach Sessions would love it. Have him watch the game.
Toss to Roberts on the right side. He's got Loudon out in front of him again. He's down to the 22, and that's going to be good for another McGill first down.
Roberts just doing a good job with that student body right, just reading his blocks and letting those big old linemen get out there and just make the path through. And he just goes on forward for positive yardage, kicks the sticks. Look at Big 75 out there.
He has played well on that right side.
Loudon, we've been talking about him all night.
He's played well every game we've had him this year. This is the 4th.
Well, all year. How about that? Not just all night.
Yes. Just a junior.
When you get Jim Cox calling the lineman out, that means he's really doing some good stuff.
We'll swap him over to the left side. Actually might have been doing some pulling on that last one. This is Stanley to the 20.
Unfamiliar territory. That's where Daphne is right now.
In a long time.
It's just like being lost and you're out of gas and you're saying, where am I? They've got to figure out quickly where they are, how to adjust, and stay emotionally in this game, especially this defense.
Well, it's at least 17 miles to the next gas station, so
I noticed that.
They've got to stay in shape to get there.
Yeah. Where's that exit?
Wow, they haven't wound the play clock yet, as we're down inside 58. It hasn't started, and now they finally started. That's fine. Boy, if you're the Daphne coach, you got to be very unhappy with that.
No idea why you would not have started that play clock a lot sooner than that, maybe 20 seconds sooner.
Yeah, now it's down to 10. 2nd and 8. The pitch. Stanley has some room. Loudon leading the block on Anderson there, but he gets upended in the backfield. Good work coming there by Preston Hughes, who's also played well for Daphne tonight, but now McGill's not going to have to snap it. They don't need to snap it.
You take it to the 4th quarter, huh?
3rd and 5 coming up. It's a good play by Hughes.
Oh, we've seen more pitches, just tosses like this. This is the SEC in 1982.
Lars Tate against Bobby Humphrey or something.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Wow, the home crowd is letting their Yellow Jackets hear it. 12 minutes to go. We mentioned it earlier. Rivals.com said this was the game of the week in the nation. And we're here tonight bringing it to you from the Lip. McGill on top, 38-21, and driving again. (38-21).
We talked about halftime adjustments by the Daphne defensive staff, Jim, but
boy, McGill.
We haven't seen anything, huh?
Yeah, and McGill comes out. They hold the ball. This is 3rd and 5. 8 of the 12 minutes there in that 3rd quarter. And now we get a whistle.
Yeah, I think the center was a little bit late snapping it. Quarterback's pulling out of there. Offensive line's moving. They're off except the center.
Time of possession in this game, over 21 minutes for McGill, 13 minutes for Daphne.
That's it. Now, part of that is Daphne's quick strike.
Snap infraction by the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Good eye on that one, Vic.
Back to my pregame notes now, since they're relevant once again. McGill needs turnovers. They got that.
Need to win the kicking game. You had that written down.
Get that lead. They didn't get it early, but they eventually got it, and they need time of possession, and they've certainly gotten that.
3rd and 10 from the 23. Interesting that Lee isn't on the field for this play.
Yeah, and he didn't get that pitch the last time, too, which concerns me.
Roberts, you would expect he would get it on the right side, gets upended in the backfield, but still on his feet. Now he's going to be knocked back and out of field goal range, you would think. Oh, and then a hit on the sidelines. Ooh.
Lucky he didn't get that penalty there.
Yeah.
Just saying the refs have done a good job. They kind of let that one go, letting the kids play.
Might have been on the right sideline, or maybe the hit wasn't hard enough, but...
Yeah, you get these guys going lateral. That's what you want right there. And then just the last little pop.
Yep, nothing wrong with that hit.
He was in bounds.
Good job by the Zebras.
That was Taylor Carey over there to make the hit.
Looks like they're going to go for it here. They're just going to play a little gamesmanship. Oh, there you go.
Now you're just going to try to punt it from the 29 because it's 4th and 17. And actually, play clock's at 5. I think you're okay if you take the delay of game penalty here. Give your kicker a little more room, but they get the snap off, and he just tries to pooch it, and that did not work out well.
Yeah, didn't even get a first down there.
No, they didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. Wow, that didn't even get to the line of scrimmage. I guess it did. It went 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. Hey, we got a special guest and a good friend of ours with us, Pat Greenwood.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Happy to have Wes Williams here. First of all, inducted into the McGill-Toolen Hall of Fame last week. What was your reaction when you got that call?
I was actually in State College when I got the call from Father Shields, and I was kind of floored. I was really honored by it. It was really something really special. McGill means a lot to me, and that was very, very special.
Let's get this play. We'll come right back, okay? Hang on just a second.
The Yellow Jackets bring their defense out there, and Fleeton with 5 receivers. Looking to the far side, pressure, dumps it off, able to get it to Yeldon at the 25. Yeldon with a stiff arm again, still on his feet at the 30, and hops out of bounds, and it's going to have another Daphne first down. Pat.
And Wes, high school football has been so important to you, and because of you, we're able to do this every week. We thank you, number one. Why is it so important for you to be such a big part of it?
Well, I enjoyed playing high school football, number one. I refereed for 20 years, and seeing what kids did coming through the years and the kids coming out of here going to college to play, it's just always been a real neat thing for me. So I've always tried to sponsor when I could, be a part of high school football in Mobile.
Fleeton gives it off to Yeldon on the left side. Yeldon still grinding out at the 46-yard line. We thank Pat Greenwood for catching up with Wes Williams. You've known Wes a long time, too.
Yeah, what a class act.
Oh, man.
Has been a big supporter of high school football, not just McGill-Toolen football, but I think Wes gets as much a kick out of kids that excel at the high school level, and again, all the lessons that are learned.
Sure, and he's one of those.
I think he gets that.
Yeah, and he gets it. And he understands. A lot of these kids are not going to play any more football ever in their life, and this is their Super Bowl. This is their championship. This is on NBC 1544.
2nd and 3. Fleeton, all kinds of time. Comes to the near side, Horace Johnson. Johnson's got a first down. He makes a move at the 40, inside the 30, and he'll be wrestled out of bounds inside the 20. So here come the Daphne Trojans back, and they got the hurry-up offense going, too. And Pat Greenwood didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Just one more question for you. I got to get your reaction to this. 38-21. Did you ever imagine that?
Not really. I talked to Coach Vic before the game, and he was cool, calm, and collective. And I tell you, I've been really impressed with our new coach. He's been really phenomenal.
Well, again, a sincere thank you for everything you do, not just for McGill or Daphne, but high school football in general.
Well, thanks for all y'all do.
Thank you very much. All right, guys.
All right, thanks, Pat Greenwood. Fleeton gives it off to Yeldon on the right side, lowers the shoulder inside the 15. McGill trying to rip that ball out. Starting to see a sense of urgency from the defending state champions here on offense.
And they've just got too much, Jim. I mean, they've got the weapons to get things done. That was a great play on the outside there. You just see talent, and it's not just Yeldon, but that is their silver bullet right there if they want to get something big quick, because he can make it on any play.
And that's the reason you thought the game may be lopsided one other way, because Daphne's got it across the board, McGill's got it in certain spots.
2nd and 6. Fleeton, all kinds of time, going to scramble. He's got a lot of green in front of him. Pressure on the backside from Cortopassi. Gets away from that and away from Allen. Lost the football out of bounds, but it's 1st and goal, Daphne.
Yeah, he had all day just surveying the football field, looking for a player. Hopefully he's okay on that last little push out, but had all day his lineman did and gave him the time, and he just finally decided, hey, I might as well just take it upfield and get all I can get.
Yeah, all day, but good coverage downfield, too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You got to give McGill credit for that.
Quarter-passing giving chase. Andrew Allen knocked him out of bounds.
I'm sure he was looking for number 4. Little Wildcat.
1st and goal from the 3. Dropped, but able to pick it up is Yeldon. He'll walk into the left side, touchdown.
It almost looks like he's toying with him when he does these things, guys.
It does. I mean, it's
funny.
Man and boys, but he is really an amazing athlete. On a botched play, Lamont just overcommits to the inside, and it's over. He's
not going to beat him to the corner.
No, and Yeldon knows that.
Yeah.
And look at the time left, exactly 10 minutes, and now look at the score. Back within 10 if they kick this extra point, and we got a long way to go.
Roberts on to try. Point after, Jacob Olmstead, the holder. 38-28 is where we're at. Just 2 minutes gone by in the 4th. A couple of undefeated heavyweights doing battle tonight here on UTV 44. Daphne, they've won 23 in a row for a reason.
Yeah,
I mean, their defense sparked that, man.
Thank you. Their defense we talked about, they've got to step up where they held McGill when McGill was in a scoring-like position.
Yep.
Get the ball back. That offense, again, can do so many things so quickly. They do. Once again, the onus is on the Daphne defense against a high-powered McGill offense, obviously, at 38-28.
Well, the talk around town is that nobody has seen Daphne take it up a notch in the fourth quarter like any other team. But we're going to find out here in just a few.
They'll have to.
Davidson Warriors beat Murphy tonight 13-7 at Ladd. Ball on the ground. Marshall picks it up, makes a move. Marshall at the 30, out across the 35. Filbert Marshall to the 45-yard line.
Wow. Talked about earlier, his dad talked to him early outside the press box. I know he's excited and jumping up and down for Filbert Marshall doing a contribution on special team as well as defense.
How many big plays has Hughes made, too, to quell a problem on special teams? He's been the last line.
We see TJ Yeldon with his 4th touchdown of the night.
McGill's got great field position to start this out, guys.
Thanks to our friends at Spring Hill Toyota. Just 1:39 off the clock. Trey Roberts
back in there.
Roberts hit. Still will pick up a couple. Good penetration.
Satterwhite in there, quarterback.
They do bring Satterwhite in. Jason Smith looks like he's getting some fluids over here on the near side.
Not a good time for him to be out.
Well, I'm certain he's out because he can't go. So.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Maybe Greenwood can get us some more info on that.
Well, he is talking to the training staff. Got his helmet off, but he's just. I wonder if he got hit in the mouth. It just looked like they were giving some fluids, and I kind of kept looking that direction. Satterwhite gives it off to Trey Roberts. Roberts on the left side, and Trey Roberts is going to have a first down for McGill. Wow, a big first down while your starting quarterback is being tended to.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, at this point, you're up 10. You've got less than 10 minutes to go, now less than 9. Every first down, the way they're running this offense is going to mean 3 minutes or so, possibly.
Yep, they are. The training staff talking to Jason Smith at the 45, and training staff telling the other players to give him some room. Jason Smith wants to.
Yeah, well, those other players want him on the field.
Yeah, he wants to be there.
All right, dog, get in the game.
Yeah, it's always easier to tell somebody to get in there when you're not the one injured. Play clock inside 5. Trey Roberts cuts it back again and just goes in the middle of the Daphne Trojan defense there to the 42.
And the offensive linemen getting a little excited. They're believing. They pushed him around a little bit. Hey, we can play with you big boys.
Approaching 8 minutes to. Looks like they're taking the jersey off of Jason Smith.
Not a good sign.
So Harry Satterwhite, the sophomore, in his biggest game in his high school career.
Yeah. By how long a margin?
It's going to be up to Trey to sort of milk this out. Looks like they got it. Oh, there's the quarterback there.
Play clock to 5. Roberts makes a move to the 41, but they're just. This Daphne defense can just pin the ears back and come after Roberts. You know who that's where the football's going.
Yeah, if you're gonna throw a trick play, now's the time, because they are thinking it's Roberts. They realize obviously that Smith is not in the game, so you don't have the threat at quarterback. Satterwhite may develop into a fine player, but he's a sophomore right now on a huge stage.
So
one quarterback getting tended to by the trainer, and the other one's tending to the offense.
That's right. 3rd and a long 6. We'll call it 3rd and 7.
And it's got a little tougher here for 3rd down.
Wide side of the field to the top of your screen. They give it to Roberts up the middle, and Roberts falls up to the 36-yard line. Anderson was in there.
Now what do you do?
Pat Greenwood, update us.
Well, what happened is he was having some trouble breathing. They actually took his shoulder pads off, took one of his shirts off, one of his undershirts off. Now they're putting everything back on. So I don't think it's a physical injury. It's not it's not his mouth or his shoulder or anything like that. He's just having some trouble getting air. Now his helmet's back on. It looks like he's about to get ready to get back in there.
4th and 3. I'm wondering if McGill is going to take a timeout. Here they're just letting the play clock run. Now they send it in with 10 seconds left. They have to hurry.
Try to get a cheat one, try to draw them offside, Dan.
Well, you don't have enough time now because the play clock's down to 2.
Are they going to get it off? They do not get it off. So a delay a game. I think, I think they were fine with that. If they're going to punt, gives you a little more room for your kicker instead of trying to have to pooch one.
Yeah, just let him Give it all he's got.
Yeah, the 25 seconds was more important than the 5 yards there if you weren't planning on going for it.
Daphne may have to go 80 yards, which is not a given. Might chew some clock themselves.
Now they send the punt team out with 20 on the play clock, so we're going to be inside 6 minutes when Daphne gets it back. 2 scores down. It's doable. I'll tell you what, Daphne is a scary bunch offensively. Yeah, McGaster comes back in the game, and he's at the 10. Hamlin, not a great kick again. This one bounces inside the 20, and it'll be down right at the 20.
Good enough.
Yeah, he's punting it unconventional by taking that little run and go to the sideline, which is different.
Hey, let's talk about Eric Lee, our Scholastic Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Caligas. He was on our pregame show. We've been raving about the young man all night long. Dan, you see there the GPA 3.49, going to South Florida to play football and study business information systems.
Our conversation with him was off the charts, and it wasn't because of us. I'll tell you that. We were the weak links out there.
And got a McGill.
Kevin Cush there, junior,
4.22 studying physics.
Now here we go. Looking to go up top into double coverage, and Yeldon draws the pass interference penalty.
Yeah, Jalen Square was right there with him.
You know what?
But
that's a fine penalty to take. That's a fine penalty to take as opposed to the
latter. Yeah, he's subject to catch it and go all the way. Yeah.
A lot of jostling.
They both had a right to the ball.
Yeah.
Got his head around, so he usually don't want to call it, but Zebra saw it different this time.
Tough call by it's just a tough call to make one way or the other.
Sure.
To make or ignore.
So there we go. Kevin Cush, our Scholastic Athlete of the Week from McGill, 4.22, as Dan said, 33 on the ACT, and wants to take it again because thought he could improve on that.
Well, 33, what a joke. I mean, study.
There he's on the high Q team, the Pro-Light Service of the Poor. I mean, just a spectacular young man.
Impressive.
Got Yeldon out wide here to the bottom.
Single coverage with Marshall. They throw it on the far side, and look at that one to Sane, his first catch of the night. He's going to have a first down for Daphne. Ball is loose and recovered by Daphne. That squirted out late on that play. Pat Greenwood.
It's interesting. The defensive coaches from McGill-Toolen in that last timeout were basically telling the guys, you've got to ignore the scoreboard. Vic, I know you've heard that over and over again. They know it's a 10-point lead, but they say you've got to play like it's tied. Can't let them just drive down the field because Daphne, defending state champions, you know that they're not going to quit. So it's going to be interesting to see how the defense responds because you know that Daphne's going to have everything for them.
Yeah, those coaches preach those sort of things, but getting it to resonate is another thing. But we're going to find out what we got here in these Daphne Trojans tonight.
Daphne with all 3 timeouts left.
5:44 back on the clock. 5:44.
So they allowed an extra 5 to run off, and they get that corrected.
If we've seen a team that responds and listens to their coaching staff this year, it's McGill.
Yep.
But again, this Daphne offense has got so many weapons. This thing could flip in a heartbeat.
1st and 10 for the Trojans. Stepping up in the pocket. Fleeton dumps it to the near side. It's incomplete. Johnson couldn't hold on to it.
Late pressure, quarter pass through with a kind of a late measured blitz.
You know something else, too, he hadn't called his name, but Fleeton's kind of managed this offense pretty well. Given the fact all he has to do is turn around and hand it off, but when he's been asked to pass, it's been there.
He's done a nice job.
Yeah, 965 yards coming in it tonight, 9 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's only rushed it 31 yards on the year, 15 times. Not going to pull it down and scramble much.
Solid kid, though. 6 foot, 200 pounds.
That incomplete pass stopped the clock. Ball at the 47. Fleeton, we say he's not going to pull it down much, and he does right there. The ball comes loose from behind. Covered by Daphne. That punched out from behind.
Yeah, these kids practice that so much these days. It's just a part of tackling drills. If you go out to practice, you'll see every team just practice getting the ball out, and he almost goes for the ball rather than the tackle.
Yeah, Corley was the one who knocked it out.
Daphne was fortuitous to be able to get back on that one.
3rd and 6. Fleeton looking on the far side. Yeldon out there. Marshall with him, and Marshall tips it up in the air. Intercepted. Marshall comes up with the interception up the right side. Gets a block from Stanley at midfield, and he'll be knocked out of bounds there. And a late flag comes in at the end of that play. Marshall with great coverage on the tough assignment. going against Yeldon, tipped it up in the air and pulls it down for the pick.
Wow. Ball skills and how else do I say this? He's out there alone with maybe the best offensive player in the state.
Yeah.
That's more than ball skills, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, as you take a look at it unfold, you may say it's a low percentage pass, but when you got Yeldon, I mean,
percentage shoots up.
Exactly. Yeah. But just didn't get it that chance at that time. Filbert Marshall was able to tip it to himself, and he's heading back this way, trying to see where the extracurricular came in. You got it, Jim?
Yeah, block in the back on Blake Lamont at the end of that one, so that'll bring him back from the spot. And Lamont was kind of hobbling, looked like he hurt his shoulder on that block, and he's being tended to on the McGill sideline.
Well, with 4:51 left in this football game, I think he can start to milk it a little bit.
Jason Smith back in at quarterback.
They're up by 2 scores.
Trey Roberts to the 39.
And how about Yeldon in the second half? I mean, they haven't had the ball enough.
You're
really.
right.
McGill had it 8 minutes of the 12 minutes of the third period. Daphne's had one drive of consequence here in the second half.
Yeldon got that touchdown.
His numbers are going to still look great, but there was definitely McGill holding the football, a lot of it.
And how about McGill, the way they have managed the play clock all night? We talked about a big danger getting out of your rhythm, what you do, but they have done a great job at winding that play clock down inside 5 every time before they snap it.
Yeah, they play a different cadence in the game, and this is their cadence, and this is their game, and they're playing it out just the way they like it.
Garrison up the middle. They said, you can't play Daphne and give them 70 snaps. If you give them 70 snaps,
they may have 70 points.
Right, yeah, exactly.
You're right. You got to play the odds, keep the ball away from them. They're just... Yeldon just shows you right there. But again, I get back to the play by Marshall. 5'9". Yeldon 6'2". One-on-one coverage. Yeldon, an exceptional ball skill athlete.
I throw it up to him all the time.
Absolutely.
But that time Marshall was up to the task.
3rd and 4 for the Yellow Jackets. Ranked number 6 in the state, highest they've been ranked. I'll tell you about that in a second. As the pitch to Roberts, he's got the first down, still on his feet and stays in bounds. Another first down, McGill. Now Daphne's going to have to start thinking about using their timeouts.
I think that was intentional on Roberts' part, sliding down inbounds. He knew he was losing his balance, and he stays in, keeps the clock rolling.
Let's watch as he does. That's a great play. Great pickup, Dan Brennan. Pat Greenwood.
Yeah, Dan, you beat me to it because, look, he could have gotten another 10, 15 yards maybe, but what he did is he noticed that he needed to stay in bounds, just slid down instead of getting out of bounds and stopping the clock. That is an absolutely wonderful heads-up play by that young man.
And to set that play up, you got to talk about Loudon again, the tackle there. He just makes a nice block out there. He cuts under it, reads his block perfectly, and gets upfield.
At 1, they snap it. Roberts 2 hands on the football. Daphne trying to yank it out. We said Daphne coming in ranked number 1. McGill ranked number 6. McGill was ranked number 7 to open the season last year. This is the highest McGill's been ranked since.
We talked so much about Roberts and Smith and even Carl Lee, but that offensive line for McGill-Toolen, I mean, again, just beating up a big boy.
Yeah. And how about first-year coach Bart Sessions?
I don't know where you start or in that conversation.
He was, you think about how Daphne won the state championship last year. Goal line stand against Hoover at the end of the game to win it. Coach Sessions, the defensive coordinator. Then he comes over here as the head coach. Oh, by the way, the defensive coordinator, Ricky Chancery. So
formerly of Daphne.
And great defensive coordinator. So you got great minds over here, and there's that student body. We should mention record crowd, biggest crowd ever to watch a football game at the Lip. Over 5,900 here tonight. They said 5,900 even, but I'm sure there's some folks that snuck in here late. So what a great testament about high school football, games on TV, sold-out stadium, and 2 of the best teams in the state playing tonight.
No doubt about it. I mean, this was the game. We knew it was the top game in the state. And as it turned out, Rivals.com went 50 better than that. Yeah,
easily. National game of the week.
Yeah, and we about a month ago, we were all kind of sitting here. It's 2 or 4-4 or 4-0 each, and you said,
yeah,
week 9,
and here it is.
Could be 238 away. Roberts the 35-yard line.
Yeah, Trey's going to enjoy the whirlpool in the morning.
No
I promise
doubt.
you guys.
Let him sleep in past 9, huh?
Another timeout taken by Daphne, their second.
Yeah, now it is really a matter of time, isn't it? I mean, at this point, McGill's got the ball. They've got the 10-point lead.
Yep.
They got the clock winding down. Daphne's got to stop it at 2:25. Glenn Vickery's been in a lot of big games. He's won a lot of big games. I don't know that he's going to win this one tonight.
Well, there's still plenty of time for stuff to happen. Just, if McGill makes any mistakes, I'm sure Daphne's going to be looking to capitalize on it. So they've got to be very careful and tentative. Don't play to not lose. Play to win the game.
I agree. I think if you're McGill here, you're in 2-down territory. You're 3rd and 2. Like you said, you punt, you're not going to gain all that much.
No.
Daphne, if they score, they could score quick, so you don't. The time is more your ally.
And again, I think they've done a terrific job of containing Anderson on the edge. They've done a great job of containing to a large degree Lee on the other side.
Hey, I'm pretty big, guys, but I don't like this press box rocking.
Well, the bigger you are, the harder you fall. If we all go down, I just hope I land on Vic.
Yeah, he's gonna fall faster too.
I've got plenty of cushion these days.
3rd and 2. Roberts hit in the backfield, and he'll be stopped for a loss there.
Penetration. That was the one thing, Jim, that I was thinking, well, Daphne, the one thing they need to get here is back them up.
Well, I thought it would be that way all night by those ends, but they've been pretty quiet. Jim Cox has only called their name a couple of times.
That time really was a backer, too, right?
Taylor Carey came in to make the stop, and so Daphne uses their last time out with 2:16 left.
Now what for McGill? Now that it's no longer a 4th and short like we thought it might be.
Pat Greenwood.
Hey, just a crazy thought here. Do you go for it?
That's what we were just.
I mean, look, you're at the 36, a punt. You're going to get maybe 20 yards, 25 yards on a punt. You've got a chance to knock them out. I don't know.
Yeah, you get a first down, you win the game here. They're out of timeouts.
Well, Greeny, I hope you're talking to these guys because I'm no mathematician and I did not take calculus at Alabama.
So what do you do, Vic?
Play football.
Yeah. Well,
wherever the coach says, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you this, as a disc jockey on a country radio station, I go for it.
There you go.
What's it matter?
Nobody will question you in the morning.
No, they'll say,
but you get her done.
That was stupid. I say, well, yeah, but here's Alan Jackson in a high of 74.
4th and 5.
My job.
And McGill will send out the punt team.
One of the guys that's got to make real coaching decisions, Glenn Vickery right now.
Again, we said trying to tie Steve Savarese for the all-time winningest coach in Daphne history.
I thought he was pretty cool and confident all week leading up to this game.
What if he fakes it here?
Oh, crazy talk, Vic Lockett.
Yeah, that's why I play football.
Hamlin with a better kick, and hustling down there is Marshall, and it bounces out of bounds inside the 10 at the 7.
Yeah,
that's why you punt it, right, Dan Brennan?
Yeah, that's why you punt it. And even though he didn't have to do anything, how about Filbert Marshall again in a position
to make a big play?
I think he's rebuffing those petitions earlier for player of the game. Hey, Daphne setting up down here, trying to figure out what they're going to do to get a quick score, make a stop and get another score. It's a 2-score game. You always got to find number 4 and where he is. He's flanking the quarterback.
2:11 left. Daphne in the end zone, fires their side, tipped and nearly intercepted as that was Marshall, had his hands on it again. Stops the clock.
Yes, getting kind of concerned with the body language now, the Daphne players.
Fleeting.
Maybe feeling the taste of defeat here.
We just have not, as you said, Dan, we have not called T.J. Yeldon's name much in the second half because they haven't had the football.
And just a phenomenal talent. But if you saw the first half, you know that, or if you saw the one scoring drive here in the second half.
Fleeting fires this one on the far side. Yeldon's got it at the 10 against Corda passing out. Drops his shoulder and out to the 30, and that's going to be a first down, but they will keep the clock running after they get the chains reset.
That's always a positive. You get it in the number 4 hand. You know he could take it the distance from the 1, from the 20 going in, wherever he touches it. So If I was the McGill defense, I would find where he is and try to take him away. This time they got him out there at the top of your screen there, split out very wide.
McGill's got 3 up front, and they're dropping 8.
Trey Roberts in there defensively trying to bring some pressure. They get it off to Yeldon, and Yeldon makes a move at the middle of the field. Now cuts it back the other way, and he'll finally be brought down. That's a first down.
Swing and a miss.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, he just... But McGill containing, though, Jim. Still containing, and the clock rolls.
So we'll start it again after they get the chain set. Yeldon now will split to the bottom of the screen.
And if McGill holds on, what does this do to the psyche of this Daphne team?
Fleeton, little pump fake, looking for Sane on the far side, and it's knocked away. Because that was Jason Smith back there. That one had just a touch too much air under it, or Sane might have been able to go in for the score.
Jason Smith at safety, Trey Roberts playing kind of a linebacker end over
end,
here.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got their horses in there right now.
Well, I was talking to him before the game. He says, "Hey, if he can coach the team, he'd let him do that." I mean, you just maximize the talent you have, and that's how you can win football games on the high school and college level. Usually in the pros, you just can't have one guy doing 1,000 things, but at this level, you certainly can, and it can take you to a championship.
Mm-hmm. You're starting to believe, huh?
1:22 left. Fleeton rolling, fires the near side, not through the hands of Johnson, and incomplete. 3rd and 10 with 1:16 left, so Daphne's got to score and then got to get the ball back. They're out of timeouts.
And Jalen Square was the closest guy to him, the free safety, just back there roaming. He and the quarterback. Quarterback's playing the strong safety position, just going to the football.
Jason Smith, such a natural athlete. You just stick him back in there at defensive back, and he knows exactly what to do.
Don't let anybody get behind you. That's what they're telling him right now.
Right.
Especially
Fleeton looking his way, hit. Shorter hops that one to the far side as he tried to get it to McGaster, and 4th down coming up.
Yeah, and that says something about effort right there. 3 rushing, and they get to Fleeton.
So here's your 23-game win streak on the line at 4th and 10. And Vic's not going to like the press box moving here, but it's going to be moving.
I'm going to get a parachute on.
I mean, you have to go back a long time for a win like this for McGill. I mean, I think back to the Steve Savarese years, but wow, this is a
impressive club, isn't it?
Fleeton rolls out to his right, pressure from Rogers. Angles, throws the near side, picked off by Greg Coleman.
And I think that will do it, guys.
That'll do it.
Well, what a win for Bart Sessions and the Yellow Jackets.
Well, I would say the hay's in the barn, but I think the honey's in the hive.
I like it. He got, Fleeton just trying to make something happen here. It's 4th down.
Just trying to get rid of it.
And
great
Coleman
play.
Steps up, gets the interception, and the V formation will come out.
How many things does McGill do textbook? About everything?
Defensively, across the board. Across the board. I mean, the defensive backs are where they're supposed to be. The rush is where it needs to be. On the run, the gap integrity is where it should be.
And McGill fans were concerned that they didn't have the big game experience. And they fall behind, but they were in a big game.
What about the demeanor of Coach Sessions before the game? Y'all were blown by it.
Yeah.
I was blown by it.
It was just like a JV game about to start.
But the pressure was on the other side, and he knew that.
Yeah.
Not on himself.
Well, and and I think that's probably, just there's Coach Sessions. He loves these players, and the McGill-Toolen Yellow Jackets are 9-0 in 40 seconds here.
Defeating the #1 team in the state.
Defending state champions, stopping a 23-game win streak.
One of the best teams in the country, according to most of those national. They find a way.
ESPN.com had Daphne ranked number 27 in the nation. What a win for McGill-Toolen.
A shocker.
It's a shocker for a lot of people. But not that group, except the ones in black and orange tonight.
You're right. You could have a shocker with 2 teams that are 8-0. This was it, but it was only a shocker, you're right, Jim, to everybody on the outside. everybody on the outside, everybody on the inside, I don't think they're surprised.
Well, I've been a part of a group like that myself, so I know the feeling.
How's it feel?
Feels good to just come away with a victory.
So many storylines, we said, with Coach Sessions being at Daphne last year, leading them to a state championship. Just McGill-Toolen. I mean, you just, every week, it's like, yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah, they're pretty good. Now they're 9-0. Now they got Murphy next week. Big rivalry game. Coach Sessions will let them enjoy this for a while, but then they know they've got a big one next week, and the playoffs coming. They win the region.
Yep.
Region champions.
They're 9-0, and Daphne is 8-1.
Number 1 seed in the playoffs. And so McGill will open up against Dothan at home.
Amazing.
And what I like to see is the sportsmanship by the team. And then they go and shake hands with the opposite team, go and celebrate with their hands. There's plenty of time for that.
But Bart Sessions knows a lot of these
the
Daphne
players on the other side.
Yeah.
Knows the coaches over there, and he shows some class.
This is just the 5th ever region championship for McGill.
Ever.
In 86, 2006, 2007, 2008, and now 2011 for the Yellow Jackets. Pat Greenwood.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Happy to have Coach Sessions here. And I tell you what, knocking off the number 1 team in the state, region champions, how's that feel?
I mean, look at these kids. Unbelievable. Unbelievable what these kids have done. I couldn't be more proud of a group of kids. There's no feeling like playing a team of this caliber, playing the way they did. They had to fight for every inch of it. Just so proud of our players, our assistant coaches put in those extra hours. I mean, what can I say? I'm just so proud of our program and what it's done.
What do you think was the key tonight? Because that first drive, they went, 2 plays and scored?
What a gutsy group. What a gutsy group. We knew they were going to score. They're a great football team. TJ, you can't stop him. TJ Fleet and all those receivers, that O-line. So we knew they were going to score some points. Felt like we had to score some points. Luckily it worked out in our favor tonight.
What did it mean, this win to you?
Just look at that crowd over there. Unbelievable what it means to our school, our program. And these kids have so much faith, and I think it really showed tonight.
9-0, this coaching stuff's easy, isn't it?
Yeah, simple.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. Congratulations. All right, guys, what a heck of a ball game. That's why it's the game of the week, right?
Without question, game of the nation, and we were proud to have it tonight. Bart Sessions, I think that was very telling there, Dan Brennan. He is a guy can maybe come across occasionally a little gruff. His defenses always have a bit of a nasty streak to him. He's emotional right now.
He is.
And his kids are feeding off that.
And the reason they're 9-0 in large measure is due to that man, Bart Sessions.
Let's give you our nominees for the player of the game here on UTV 44 Game of the Week. TJ Yeldon, of course. Jason Smith really changed this game around with that touchdown for a kickoff at the start of the third quarter. Played quarterback, over 100 yards of total offense. And Trey Roberts, a big night on the ground as well. And Trey Roberts grinding out this game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, remember in the third period, we were all surprised to see his totals, that he was at around 90 yards on the ground, because it was kind of a quiet 90.
What a great, great game. Thanks to these two schools for giving us a great Friday night here on UTV 44 and Local 15. Thanks for everybody joining us tonight. So for Pat Greenwood on the sidelines, Jared Kihas down in the truck, Kyle McCullough up here in the booth. You've got Dan Brennan, Vic Lockett. I'm Jim Cox. Your final score tonight, McGill-Toolen 9-0. They're region champs as they knock off the defending state champions 38-28.